guys, it's Joe Blue back again with another video. I know I haven't done a video for a very long time, man. I've been kind of just chilling, not really doing that much, man, but I felt like I'm gonna just get back into the swing of things, man. And I thought I'd start off with defending Marathon, because everybody seems to be hating on this game for completely just bullshit reasons, basically. No reasons, actually. There's no actual real reason why people are hating on this game. People will claim to have reasons, but they're just minor reasons that don't actually really matter at all. They're like inconsequential reasons. So I was going to do a video where I was just going to chop out some of my PvP encounters and just do a video like my day one encounters. I only really played for like one proper day during the server slam, which was like the second or third day of the server slam. I was on the Saturday anyway. I had previously played the closed beta, so I have played the game for some significant amount of time, enough for me to know that it's a very good game. So I'm basically confused as to why people are giving it so much hate. I mean, I'm not really that confused. I kind of anticipated that this was going to happen, but I was going to make this video of just showing my PvP encounters, but I thought I'll just mix the two together. I'm basically going to do some reactions to people's opinions about this game, and then at the very end I'm just going to put my PvP encounters from that day. There's probably not that many, there's probably like maybe a handful worth of encounters, so it probably won't take up too much time. A few encounters of what it might actually be cheaters as well on the day that I played, which is unfortunate that we have the cheaters, seemingly the cheaters already in the game. But yeah, this is just for the intro anyway. I'm going to be just recording this all in one big, like, unedited mess of disordered parts that I want to focus on. So I'm going to edit it and re-edit it and reorder it in post-production. So there might be some continuity errors as I've moved pieces in and out, where I might say things referring to other things that had previously happened that I haven't said yet. There could just be some issues, but I'm not really feeling the, editing things like to the level that I used to edit videos and stuff like that. It's a very time-consuming process, so I'm just trying to like smash this out as fast as possible. So do forgive any continuity errors such as those, and let's get on with the actual main video. Okay, so we've got this dude here, Simon B Critical. Used to be like Simon B 1347 or some shit like that. A cheater code name, if you will. He used a cheater code name for his YouTube channel. I'm just saying he used the cheater code name. But anyway, he's been basically on the bandwagon as everybody else, basically just saying that the game is shit, basically. More or less. It's probably a little bit more nuanced than just saying it's just shit. But I'm not really too concerned with his personal opinion. He just seems like he's just going along with the mainstream narrative, maybe for clicks and views. I don't know his motivations, but he does pull up a few threads here of people saying things which I find very logically fallacious, and I think it's important to point out why it's logically fallacious, why you got to be careful about people who keep pushing these logically fallacious ideas. Is largely the reason why games never really get better, or it's one of the biggest problems in the world, actually. Like, it seems like the status quo is always logically fallacious. That is the modus operandi of society, no matter if it's in the political sphere or in the gaming world. It seems like the status quo of how people operate and think is fundamentally always based on logical fallacy. There's never truth to it. It's always a misinformation or recontextualized, or often like lie of omission. We'll show here a couple of ones that he's pointing out here. So he points this out here. I'm just click this bit here and play this.
There's even people doing nice illustrations for us now. Why are you shitting on my plate? How do you know it's shit? It isn't even out yet.
Okay, so the implication here of this essential logical fallacy here is what liars and deceivers tend to do is they kind of know their opinion is bullshit. Basically, they know it's bullshit, and one of the common ways in which people try and bypass your critical thinking is to hide it behind a joke or a meme, particularly memes, because memes have become very dominant part of the culture, and it's very easy to package logical fallacies into a meme because people will accept it is essentially a Trojan horse. Like, you got to look at, like, society is like a computer game. I'm not going to say simulated reality, but you know it is. But like, basically, there are things that are very like a computer. When we talk about viral infections, a virus can only usually get into your computer because you've either clicked on the exe or something that you thought was harmless contained a virus, and it was a Trojan horse. And having bad ideas in your brain operates in the same way as a virus. And the only way to get a virus into you is to bypass your critical thinking part of your brain. And one of the ways in which lies and deceivers bypass the critical thinking part of your brain is to hide a logical fallacy into a meme, because haha, it's funny. It works on people with low IQ. Basically, what's being said here in this meme is the game looks like ass, therefore it's shit. That's what is being said. But because it's being said in a joke, in this very, meme type way, people don't see that that's what's being said. They just go, oh, because it looks like ass and it's ass is shit, so we know that it's shit because it looks like ass. But that the whole argument that I'm saying with my video is that people's arguments against this game is they just don't like it because it has bright colors or it looks like Roblox. That's what people's argument is, or it's bad UI. Bad UI, looks like Roblox, bright colors. This is why you should hate the game. This is basically what the meme is saying. The game looks like ass to me, subjective opinion. That's how we know it's shit, because asses create shit. And everyone goes, ha ha ha, everyone sees that connection and finds it a joke. But the meme bypasses the critical thinking part of your brain, where you ignore the fact that he's just saying, I don't like the way the game looks and therefore I think the game is shit. That's what's being said. But people don't see it that way because it's being hidden through a meme, and people just think, ha ha, funny joke. And therefore now they've accepted the fallacy into their consciousness, and now they then begin to parrot the fallacy themselves. Because once you've accepted a worldview as being true, then you now become a robot or a viral bot for that worldview. That's how you take over somebody's mind. That's how you mind control people. You make them accept that they like the thing. Once they've accepted it, they'll defend it. That's why many things that people won't accept as conspiracy theories as being true will never accept it, because they've already accepted a false lie to begin with. And I don't want to get, super existential, but this happens at the moment of birth. As soon as you're birthed into the world, you've already accepted that the reality is a certain way, because you can go back to philosophers like Plato or whatever, Plato's cave, Descartes, and all these past philosophers that, how do you know what reality really is? I don't want to get into a philosophical thing, but you ultimately have already accepted a worldview, and your mentality is ultimately based around you accepting the narrative you were given to begin with. And memes like this will bypass the questioning of their opinion and forces you to accept something that isn't actually true or is logically fallacious. And once you've done that, you then become like a botnet for that idea. And here's another logical fallacy being used here. Let's play
this
this.
guy says here, no one hated Elden Ring when it came out because it's an actual good video game.
So this is like another logical fallacy. This would be like a lie of omission. I guess you could say it's a lie of omission. It might not be technically the correct term to use, but I'll describe what's happening. At least I can do that. No one hated Elden Ring when it came out because, one, it had an awful lot of positive hype around the game, being the fact that it's a From Software game and a spiritual successor to Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and all the From Software games that are highly praised and highly, unanimously agreed upon are some of the greatest games that have ever been made. So it has a lot of hype surrounding it. Even if Elden Ring had come out and it were a bad game, which it isn't, but if it had flopped, there'd be many people coping because of the built-up praise and goodwill of From Software. They would have died on that hill defending Elden Ring. But Elden Ring already had a lot of positive hype for the game, and people are going into the game with that positive hype. So you can say, yeah, well, no one hated Elden Ring because it's a good game, is logically fallacious, because the difference between Elden Ring and Marathon is that Elden Ring has humongous positive praise and hype based off of the pedigree of From Software, and Marathon has a lot of negative press based on the past decisions of Bungie, either through art theft or from what they've done to the Destiny 2 player base with the removal of content and their entire business model that has garnered some bad will amongst Destiny players, and the fact that it has bright colors and looks like Roblox. So it has a lot of negative press preceding the game to come out, and people have gone into the game with these preceding perceptions, and that is the reason why some games are positively received and negatively received. There's a reason why games go through a hyping up process, because people know that if you hype people up to like a game, you can brainwash people into liking that game. Even if it's a bad game, there'll still be people who'll try and defend it because they bought into the hype. That's how the hype culture works. With Marathon, it's been the opposite. There's been no real hype for the game. It's been constantly negative press for months, for like, what, 6 months? Like, when did Arc Raiders come out? There was negative press for Marathon before Arc Raiders even came out. The negative press for Marathon has been going along since then, and no one had really got to play it outside a handful of people. I say a handful of people, it's probably like a few thousand people or whatever, but like, it was a closed beta, so it's a very limited amount of people that played it to really know, and you don't know the motivations and the agendas of the people who even played it, right? For the people who had opinions on the game when it came out. I know that I played it in the second closed play test and thought, hey, this is a really good game. Like, the gunplay is really solid. Like, I like the art design. Like, I like the music. I like the aesthetic. Like, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's not pushing some DEI political nonsense down my throat. It's just a game with a really cool art style and good gameplay. I don't see what the problem is. That was my opinion. But there's been a whole bunch of negative press, you know, since before Arc Raiders even came out, and it's persisted until the game's launch. And you think that kind of negative press isn't going to affect the people who largely can't critically think for themselves? People are going to fall for a meme and not see the logical fallacy of the meme is doing. These people are highly influenceable in their opinions, and all their arguments amount to bright colors equals bad game, bad UI equals bad game, it looks like Roblox. This is it. This is all that people can say about the game. The only fair criticism that I can even think that I've heard people say is that not a lot of PvP happens, and even that is contentious. And I may have already given the reasons why that is, because this is a disjointed and edited up video, or I'll go into this going on to another clip after this one. And let's carry on to the next set of clips. And then we got this dude here, this Atreus dude. I think I've come across this dude a couple of times, man, but this is like the worst take on Marathon yet, basically dunking on Burnt Peanut. And it feels bad that me, who thinks, you know, Burnt Peanut is a cheater and probably should do some jail time and give the money back that he's defrauded from people for cheating in a video game. I have to defend Burnt Peanut here. Even if he is a shill and he is taking money from Bungie, I don't think Burnt Peanut is wrong in his opinion. Even when he's saying things like, even if you've got nothing good to say about the game, you should just shut up or whatever. And I'm of the opinion that that's okay to say, because I've played the game, as Peanut has played the game, has determined that the gameplay is perfectly fine. There's nothing seriously wrong with the gameplay, like it's a perfectly good game. So everyone's opinions are just trivial and non-consequential, and their voice shouldn't be amplified and tarnish a game undeservedly so. And therefore, maybe you should just be quiet, because you don't actually have valid criticism of the game. And we're going to have this example of this guy here, and we'll watch some of his video. And this guy also has no valid criticism of the game. In fact, he deleted my comment pointing out the fact that he doesn't have any valid criticism of the game. We're going to listen to some of this. I'll probably edit it down to key points or whatever. But yeah, let's just get on with it.
Y'all y'all love the Burnt Peanut, and he's a cool dude. He's funny. You know what I'm saying? I don't really watch his streams like that, but you know, I get it. I understand the hype, but he got to get roasted.
Why?
He has to get roasted for this, because this is one of his worst takes, and this is one of the worst takes online. And he unfortunately made the decision
Why?
to make this.
Always be beware. Always be beware. Be beware. Be beware. Be aware. Okay, I was having a mental breakdown here. So you got to be aware of dudes who always make claims and say things, and they offer no reasoning immediately. Like, you should be explaining yourself. Like, within, if you say something, it should be followed by the reason. You're just stating things. You're trying to color people's perceptions, but you don't actually have a basis to argue from. And these people, you got to watch out for these people, because they're fakers. They're fakes.
Take. And I'm gonna have to throw the Burnt Peanuts name on the Shieldstein list. Okay?
Why?
It's not that you can't enjoy a game, it's that how dare you tell everybody else they gotta shut the fuck up because you like a game. I don't even believe
I don't think that's really the reason why, but okay.
you like the game like that. I truly believe the Burnt Peanut is getting paid.
He probably is getting paid. I mean, he's getting paid either way, right? He's getting paid to play the game because people watch him, and he's getting money because people watch him anyway. The dude could probably play fucking solitaire and probably still have quite a few people playing the game, watching his stream, and making money if he was just playing fucking Minesweeper or some shit. Like, he probably still garner a fan base to make money if he was playing Minesweeper. So the dude's gonna make money regardless. Is he getting paid additional money from Bungie? Maybe, probably, maybe even likely that he is. But does that mean that he's wrong when he's telling other people to stop hating on the game, especially when they don't have any valid criticism of the game, of which you yourself are guilty of doing?
Is getting paid. The game, like, and don't get me wrong, it wasn't Arc Raiders that made the Burnt Peanut. He was online, you know, he had some viral moments before Arc Raiders, but what made the legend of the Burnt Peanut is Arc Raiders. And of course you want to play some different games, but you're not going to convince me that this slop, this garbage is what pulled you away from Arc Raiders. Fuck out of here.
What garbage?
So we're going to get into these.
So again, he's just made some statements there, but he's not really gonna, you know what I'm saying? He ain't saying anything. He's said nothing yet. He's made a whole bunch of claims, and so far hasn't backed any of these claims up with actual arguments or reasons.
Takes. Make sure y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel. And I normally don't make videos this late, but I just got done.
Don't subscribe to this guy's channel. Don't like this guy's channel.
With New Black Street, and I really had these thoughts in my head about what the Burnt Peanut had to say about people who are in his chat not liking the marathon. And you forget, nigga, you are there for their entertainment. So if you're playing a game that everybody think is hot garbage, they got one or two options. They either tune out.
I mean, this argument that he's trying to make here almost sounds like, hey man, you're a world-selling rap artist, you're a hip-hop artist, you're a musician, you're a filmmaker, and don't you know that you make films for people's entertainment? You should make films and music tailored to what the people want and not your artistic vision. Now, anyone who makes any kind of music or any kind of artistic endeavor knows that primarily when you're making anything, it's about your vision. It's about putting your essence out there, your mind, your imagination, your will, yourself out there. That's being an artist, right? To encapsulate the you and how you think and feel and see and imagine for other people. And other people can like what you do, and that can make you money. But obviously the term starving artist exists because usually if you do real art, it's usually not profitable, right? Usually you have to appeal to a common denominator to be successful. However, to be a genuinely good artist that also makes money has to find a balance between giving the people what they want and having a unique artistic vision. It can be a very tricky thing to do, but it is doable. Many artists have been very successful being able to walk the narrow line between appealing to people and not selling out their artistic vision. But what this dude is saying here, what Artreus is saying here is that if you're a streamer, you have to appeal to the people. If they want you to play a certain game, you got to play that game. You got to do what the people want. You're just a monkey on a string, on a puppeteer being puppeted by the people, when you got to do what they want, and you can't be yourself. And I just disagree with that entirely. Like, if people are watching person for the streamer, they should be watching it for them, no matter what they're playing. They could be playing fucking Minesweeper. If you're there for the personality, then you're there for the personality. If you dare to watch somebody play to be good at a specific game, then that's a niche that they've carved out for themselves. Then that's what they should do. But at the same time, that doesn't mean you can't play some other game and be just as good in that game and show some skills in that game as well. Like the idea that you're beholden to the will of your audience, I think is wrong. That's a sellout position. He's literally arguing that you should be a sellout whilst calling Burnt Peanut a shill. Can you see how contradictory that is? His argument here is saying that you need to be a sellout to your audience, and then at the same time calling him a shill. It seems a bit contradictory.
Or they ask for you to play some other shit. Now, I'm pretty sure you would love to talk shit and act like, oh, well, just...
Hey, if I'm streaming, I want to play the game that I want to play. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to play what I want to play. If you want to watch, you watch. You don't want to watch, that's fine. You know, I'm not going to just play the game because it's going to get me views. That would just be disingenuous and it wouldn't be me. I'm playing games because that's what I want to play. People want to see me play those games. You know, they want to see me hunt for cheaters in this game that I'm playing, and people are free to come and watch. But I'm not going to, you know, play a game just to get views. That would mean I was being a sellout, disingenuous.
Watch something else, and then people just stop watching you for good, and then you'll be complaining. So let's go ahead and see what it is that the Burnt Peanut had to say that's really got him in hot water right now.
If we keep dogging on new games, okay, what you're gonna have until you are 90 is Call of Duty 56, Halo 72. Okay, that's what you're gonna get. If you know what I'm talking about, everybody's like, "Oh, dude, it's the same game every year." Then don't on it day one when they try something new. Even if you don't like it, shut up. Shut the hell up. Let them work. Let them cook. Let them cook, or you're gonna get Call of Duty 96. I'm not living with Call of Duty 96.
Okay, so this is
like Burnt Peanut is a personality that is like over the top, and obviously he's playing into his character to push, you know, something that is true. You know, people are hating on this game to such an extent. Like, you got to understand, the Burnt Peanut's played the game. I've played the game. There's nothing wrong with the gameplay. The gameplay is solid. It's solid as fuck gameplay. There's nothing wrong with it. Burnt Peanut knows this is true. We know that it should, that he thinks that it, even if you don't think that it is solid gameplay, he thinks that it is solid gameplay, and that would be the position that he was coming from. And I can confirm it because I've also played the game and also know that the gameplay is solid, so that I can understand Burnt Peanut when he's saying that you should just shut up, because I've basically not heard any genuine criticism of the gameplay at all. I don't think Burnt Peanut has either, and that's why he's sort of, you know, doing the, you should, even if you don't like the game, just shut up, because, you know, he knows there's nothing wrong with the game, like, factually, and he's just playing into the personality of being a bit irreverent and a bit like disrespectful because that's his character, and then people are using his character against him and saying the dude is a shill. What, are you gonna say I'm a shill? I ain't shilling. Bungie ain't paying me no money. You know what I'm saying?
this is an abhorrent take. First of all, you're gonna get Call of Duty 56
Why?
any fucking way. Like, it doesn't matter whether.
How is that an argument for the fact we should shit on this game that's not Call of Duty 56 now? But don't you think that the reason why you're getting Call of Duty 56 is because Call of Duty keeps selling regardless of how bad it is, and there aren't really any alternatives usually in the mainstream sphere to compete with Call of Duty or whatever, because these are the Maddens and the NBA 2Ks of the first-person shooter genre, and all the casual fake gamers gravitate towards the casual fake games because the better games are never really pushed to the sphere of commercial gnosis, I guess you could say. Like, Hunt Showdown is the greatest PvP extractor shooter ever made, but it sits on like 20-30k concurrent players and almost nobody plays the game. But it's the best Hunt Showdown, it's the best extractor shooter ever made, right? It's like, just because something isn't played by a lot of people doesn't mean that it's good or bad. Like, the game is good because it's good, and games that aren't popular can still be good games. Like, we all know this. This is true. But the very fact that you're going to go hating on this game because, hey, it's got bright colors and it looks like Roblox is the reason why you're going to get Call of Duty 56. Even if you're going to get Call of Duty 56 anyway, doesn't change the fact that the reason why you get Call of Duty 56 is because when games like this come out, they do get shit on. Right? Like, if this was taken to, if everyone was loving this game and it was pushed to the levels of Ark Raiders, where everyone was loving it, then that would cause games like Call of Duty and Battlefield to start selling less. While Call of Duty 56 might get made, it would probably sell less because of the success of other games that have changed the zeitgeist of what a good game is in the genre. And then Call of Duty 58 might sell less, and then Call of Duty 59 might just sell nothing, and then you won't get a Call of Duty 60 as a result, right? It will trickle out of existence because it will become non-profitable because other games have taken over the public consciousness. So it's like what Burnt Peanut is saying is true. It's true. You know what I'm saying? Like because you are shitting on this game is the reason you get the Call of Duty slop. And his argument is, well, you're going to get it anyway. Then why are you actively opposing anything that might change that zeitgeist? You literally got the option of something new. There's nothing wrong with the gameplay. Something that could potentially crack, put a dent, like throw the spear, 300 or whatever. You can damage the gods, whatever, show that the gods can be killed, right? But you're actively opposing the opposition to those types of games under the notion of, oh, it's bright colors, looks like Roblox, and that's it. Trivial shit that doesn't actually matter to the actual core gameplay. So by being against it, you are creating the Call of Duty 56, the Call of Duty 57s, etc., etc. So you can say that they're going to be made anyway, but you're opposing any attempt to dismantle the zeitgeist.
We like a game, dislike a game, support a game, don't support a game. You're going to get Call of Duty 96 anyway because normies are just going to play Call of Duty. I don't know where you pulled the Halo 72 shit from, because niggas is not playing Halos. I don't know what the hell you talking about. They're going to keep trying to make Halo a thing because Halo is legendary. So, like, that's ridiculous.
But they don't make Halo. They made Halo Infinite and it didn't really do very well. And they haven't really been doing anything on the Halo front, so I don't know what he's talking about here, bro.
Even if you don't like a game, shut up. No! Get the fuck out of here. If you try to sell me a product I don't like, I'm allowed to tell you why I don't like it.
Well, that's true, but I think like when opinions that are trivial and not really an issue at all shouldn't be amplified or be set in stone as this is the public zeitgeist on the issue, because your negative opinion will affect other people's opinions and your opinion is unfair. It's okay to have an opinion, but if your opinion isn't fair criticism, should your opinion be considered? And shouldn't we just call it out as a bullshit opinion if that is the case? Like, why should you be allowed to have a bullshit opinion without it being questioned or criticized? Like, if you saying that, hey, I'm allowed to have my opinion on whether the game is good or not, yeah, well, people are allowed to have their opinion on your opinion as well. And I can logically prove that your opinion is bullshit.
You're allowed to make fun of it. Get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. Shitting on it day one? I don't need to wait for day 32 to know that the game is garbage. And for a marathon, I didn't need to play it on day one.
Exactly, he didn't need to play it day one, dude. He just looked at it and went, dude, shit looks like Roblox. Shit looks like fucking Fortnite blew up in a Crayola factory or some shit. Like, what the fuck is going on with this game? I don't need to play this gay shit. Yeah, that's what he's thinking. That's all of the fair judgment that he put into the game. That's all I had to look at the game. Look at these fucking guns that look like Legos, and look at all this fucking bright color shit. This isn't the type of game that I'm gonna be playing. Who's gonna be playing a game where your guns look like Legos and the fucking colors all bright and shit? That's what he's thinking. That's all the thought he's put into the game. He hasn't, even before he's played it, he's already determined everything about it based on the look of the game entirely. When a real gamer like me, and I am gonna throw it out there, a real gamer like me looks at the game and think, hey, I actually see that this game actually looks pretty decent. As a person who's played a lot of extraction shooters, I have a basis to know hey, this looks like this could be a good extraction shooter, and I'm not ignorant in my aesthetic opinions, so I can look at something like this and like, hey, it's a unique art style. It's, it's like, what I've kind of in some aspects kind of dubbed synthetic disturbia, or like synthetic horror. It's got this like synthetic, retro cyber tech, aesthetic that I think is really cool. There's nothing wrong with it, but obviously a lot of dudes who play Madden and 2K and Call of Duty and just want everything to be real all the time. Everyone's got to be real, bros. We're in the real, bros. And if you ain't in the real, bro, you ain't a real gamer. That's how you know they're a fake gamer. That's what a fake gamer is. A fake gamer always tries to push the realism all the time. Everyone's got to look real. Everyone's got to look brown and grey. Everyone's got to look like NBA 2K, and everyone's got to look like Street Fighter. Because these are the games that this dude plays. I can tell you that for almost 90% certainty that this guy plays Madden, NBA 2K, Street Fighter, Super Smash Bros, and then Call of Duty and Battlefield. These are the games that this dude plays, and he'll make out that he's a real gamer. No, you're a selective gamer that likes things based on a personal preference that a lot of people share, and you're not down there in the trenches of gaming playing weird and random shit because you play gameplay over aesthetics. You ain't doing any of that shit. And I can say that with confidence that I'm almost certainly like 90% correct on the type of games that this dude plays.
To know that it was God. I knew what my eyes were telling me.
Yeah, your eyes are lying to you, bro. Your eyes are seeing one thing, and then your brain be lying to you, telling you fallacious lies. Like, judge things based on how they look, not how they play. And because you have an already wonky, biased perception of looks, you come to false conclusions as a result.
I'm not surprised that the gunplay is fun. That's not surprising.
What? The gunplay is fun? That doesn't surprise me. Listen.
To me, it's made by Bungie. Bungie's always going to deliver a game with. We're talking about the legendary creators that.
He realizes he's tripping up on himself here. He's basically said the gameplay of the game is good because it's the Bungie gunplay, and therefore the gameplay is good. I just don't like how it looks, guys. Bright colors equals bad. Bad UI equals bad. It looks like Roblox, therefore it's bad. This is all the arguments these motherfuckers are coming out with. They don't have any actual arguments. And that's why I feel it's perfectly justified for Burnt Peanut to tell these people to shut the fuck up. You don't have any actual opinions that count. Your opinions are garbage. They're garbage. They're not of anything of substance. They not add any constructive criticism towards the game. It's just that it looks like fucking Call of Duty got blown up in a Crayola factory, and that's it. That's all I have to know about it, bro. It looks gay, therefore it is gay. I don't need to play the game because I've already determined I ain't playing none of this neon Crayola factory looking motherfucking game. I ain't playing none of that shit. That's just far as the thinking of this person has gone. That's it.
Made Halo and Destiny. I knew the gunplay was going to be. I'm looking at these run mechanics with the gun. I'm seeing Destiny all over it. So I knew the gunplay was going to be good. The gunplay was not what I was worried about. What I was worried about was to look at look at this shit. It looks like ass.
You don't like the art style. You think it looks too bright and he's too manly. He's doing the Kingdom Hearts beam where he's scared his dad's going to walk into his room while he's playing this game and his dad's going to think he's gay. It's false perceptions. This is a fake gamer we're talking to here. This is a fake gamer. He ain't a real gamer. He'll talk like he's real. He'll say things like he's a real dude, but he's not a real gamer. He plays Madden, NBA 2K, Street Fighter, Call of Duty. This is all the dude plays. Guaranteed. Like, I'm being hyperbolic. Obviously, he probably plays other games as well, but these are his main games. This is the type of person that has these opinions does. They just play the common denominator bullshit games that everybody else plays and then claims to be a real gamer. This dude's an invasion of the body snatchers. I ain't real, bro.
Look like goddamn ass.
What? I fail to see what's ass
about this. It looks like a combination of Call of Duty, Roblox, and Splatoon. I don't want to play this shit.
There you go, bros. That's all he's got to say. That's it. That's how shallow he is as a person. That all he has to do is look at neon greens, Lego looking guns. That I'm out, guys. I ain't playing no bright color Lego gun game. What am I, a child? Like, you know what I'm saying? He's not based on the merit of the game itself, of the actual positives of what the game's doing in its gameplay and its aesthetic. He's made a knee-jerk reaction based off of bright colors alone. That's his whole entire argument, and that's the argument of 95% of the people who are talking shit about this game. That's what it boils down to.
I just don't. And not for nothing, I don't want to play Destiny either.
He doesn't want to play Destiny either. Why? Destiny doesn't have all these bright colors and all the Robloxy looking graphics. Why would he want to play Destiny either? Because it's that sci-fi nerdy shit, bro. It's all that sci-fi nerdy shit. I ain't playing no sci-fi nerdy shit. What do I look like, a nerd to you? Dude, I'm playing my NBA, Madden, Street Fighter, fucking Call of Duty shit that I always play, motherfucker. That's what I'm playing, bro. That's what I'll be playing, bro. I don't play none of that nerdy fucking shit. What do I look like to you? Do I look like the type of dude who don't get pussy? Exactly, that's all that he's thinking, man. This guy's a fake gamer. He ain't a real gamer, bro.
That's the reason I stopped playing Destiny. But that wasn't the only thing that the Burnt Peanut had to say. Let's see what else he had to say.
This game is garb, hot trash. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at me. I'm hating on the new game right when it released. I'm the coolest. Look, I'm hating on the new game as soon as it releases. I'm part of the cool crowd. Dude, shut up! That happens with every game! Literally, the game you're telling me to go play Arc Raiders, you literally did it to as well! On day one! Shut up! You literally did the same thing to Arc, and that's what you're telling me to go play! Shut the fuck up!
So, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. This is why I have no choice.
There were some haters on Arc Raiders. Not to the extent of Marathon, but there were some Arc Raiders haters for sure.
But to assume that you're some sort of shield. And I gotta put you on the shield sting list. Because
Why?
what are you talking about? Nobody said this about Arc Raiders when it first dropped. Did you have a couple of haters? Sure. But it wasn't enough for you to go on a rant about, because everybody and their mama knew Arc Raiders was a good ass game. That's why
Arc Raiders also had a shit ton of positive press surrounding the game, whereas Marathon's been unfairly shit on due to, you know, rightfully so, art theft, Bungie's past decisions towards the Destiny 2 player base. Sure, there's some valid resentment that has been built up because of Bungie's actions for sure, but as far as the game itself is concerned, it's unnecessary hate that's unfairly hurting the game. So the difference is that Arc Raiders had some haters for sure. It had a lot of positive momentum surrounding the game to succeed, whereas Marathon's the opposite. It has a lot of negative press on it and a lot of haters as a result. So it kind of, you know, when you can see that all the hate is clearly not objective, no real arguments are being made as to why the game is bad, then if you are playing the game and you like the game, then you're going to be a little bit annoyed seeing people hate the game for no actual reason. That's why I'm making this video. That's why I'm making the video. You're going to say I'm a shill? No, I'm making the video because I'm annoyed, not coping as people make out in the comments. I'm annoyed that people are hating on a game and not a single person has a good reason to hate on it. Not one good reason. Like, it's okay, I don't like the way that it looks. Fine, but do you have to make a whole video on shitting on the game because you think the game looks like Roblox? Why does it need to be a video? Why does it have to be literally posted on everyone's Twitter feed that this game is shit? But what you really need to say is, the game looks like Roblox and I don't want to play a game that looks like Roblox. That's fine. You want to be a shallow, ignorant person? Fine. No one can force you to not be ignorant. However, do you have to go on a tirade to convince other people how bad the game is because you think the game looks like Roblox? And then I'd be annoyed. Burnt Peanut's obviously annoyed the same way. Like, he's seen everybody hate the game and there isn't a good reason why people are hating on it. Not one good reason. So yeah, it's annoying. And that's why he's saying it. It doesn't have to be a shill. necessarily, although it's likely that he probably is getting paid in some way. He's a big YouTuber. Why wouldn't he be taking money if he's in a position to do so? He probably would be. But that doesn't mean he's wrong just because he's taking money as well.
It's having the success that it's having, and that's why Marathon won't be able to do anything to its player base. Point blank, period. Like, what's this obsession with letting the game cook? No, you had years to let this game cook, and you released it in this state.
What state? The game's perfectly fine. Again, he just said something, but there's no additionals. There's no reasoning here. He's just saying a thing, and then just hoping the thing that he says sticks in people's minds. But he said nothing. It's a big nothing burger. He's saying things, the same claims, but it basically boils down to his opinion is it looks like Roblox and Splatoon, right? That's basically what it's boiled down to.
We told you when we first revealed it. I don't know about this.
So you're ignorant. Why can't you just be honest? I'm ignorant, and I don't like the way that the game looks. It looks too bright colors to me. I don't like it because, you know, I ain't into that gay shit. Why can't you just be ignorant and just be honest? Own your ignorance. Why are you trying to masquerade that you ain't some ignorant piece of shit? Why are you trying to make out that you have real argument? You don't. You're an ignorant piece of shit, and you just don't like the game because of the bright colors.
The fuck out of here. No, we're not gonna shut up. We're not gonna shut up.
You should shut up though. You don't have to. No one can force you to, but you should shut up because you don't have an actual opinion that's worth. You're just an ignorant person, sprouting ignorant, and you should shut up. And if we had some power in the world, you should be made forcibly to shut up. Oh no, he's totalitarian. Well, really, you don't like if you give your opinion out in the public, and we can all logically determine that you have no basis for your argument to have actual merit, your opinion should be null and void. You can say that everyone's entitled to an opinion, but people don't realize that there should be an addendum to that phrase. Everyone's entitled to opinion. That also means you're entitled to be wrong as well. Not all opinions are correct. Not all opinions are equal. So yes, everyone is entitled to opinion, and everyone can have an opinion, but opinions aren't equal. And if you're entitled to an opinion, you're also entitled to be wrong. And we should be allowed to call it out when people have opinions that are wrong. And you have an opinion that is basically shallow and ignorant and doesn't have any valid criticism at all, and should be called out as such. And if you continue to, you know, you should shut up. Basically, is what I'm saying. You should be allowed to be shut down in some way. I know we don't actually have that power. We can't actually do that. You're basically just allowed to do whatever you want. But in a righteous, true world, we'd have the power to shut your opinion down, because your opinion has been proven to be false and bullshit, and we shouldn't allow ignorance to propagate on the internet.
And you making up lies about arc raiders is not going to make anybody want to try this game. The game is done. Keep in mind, as I said in the previous video, this game is only free for the weekend. Starting next week, you will have to pay $40 to play this game. And y'all let me know, is anything from this game y'all seeing worth $40?
Well, we can go into Steam right here, and we can go to Hunt Showdown. Whoops, Marathon is £35, and we go Hunt Showdown. Hunt Showdown is £26, so there's like a £10 difference. Hunt Showdown has 4 maps. Marathon has 4 maps. Hunt Showdown's not a class-based system. It does have a lot of weapons and stuff that have been added to the game, but they're in basically the same ballpark area of price and content. Maybe Marathon's a little bit more on the expensive side. That is a fair criticism, but it's within the same ballpark. It offers the same kind of content as other games in the genre. So I don't think the price point is a particular point of contention either. I do agree that maybe it's a little bit too expensive, but it is a AAA company. It is Bungie. It does have Sony behind it. Sony has probably invested a lot of money into it, and that's probably going to account for the slightly higher price than it may be worth, but it's still within a ballpark area of being reasonable for the content, even though there are others that are cheaper that have just as much content or more. But bearing in mind, Hunt Showdown only had 2 maps on launch, then it had 3, then 4. It also was cheaper, and the price was increased as more content was added to the game. But all in all, it's still roundabout in the same ballpark area, and I don't think the price is a real point of contention at all. I think it's fine as a price point. It could be better for sure, but it's not too egregious. But it's sitting on that borderline where it's like kind of too much, but not really. It's in that position, in it. Like, yeah, you can hate on the price, but I don't think it's a big enough reason to hate on it at all. The gameplay is very high quality, so it's not like it doesn't deserve a price based on the quality of the game. But that's, again, personal opinion, I guess.
I don't see it. I don't see it. Okay, mostly everybody's looking at this. I mean, like, look, the player base dropped off. It ain't terrible, but again, free.
Yeah, but a lot of people who already hated the game went in to play the game because it was free and decided that they just confirmed their own bias. Basically, they already went in with a bias, they confirmed their bias, and then they left. So like 50% of the people that played the game, 50% of them were either already had a neutral or positive bias going in, so they stuck around, and maybe some people that had a negative bias who saw the light stayed as well. But there was probably people who went in with negative or neutral bias and they were swayed to be negative or continued their negative bias and confirmed their bias and then left. You know what I'm saying? Like, the stats don't mean anything. People love to point to stats. The stats don't give you context. They don't tell you what's actually happened. They're just telling you, look, number goes up and down, but not telling you why. Like, there are obviously, because of the negative press surrounding the game, it's only logical to assume many people have had a negative perception tainted due to negative press, gone into the game with that negative perception, confirmed their negative bias, left.
So, I mean, you can rage out, you know, you can say whatever you want, but nobody's buying this shit, Peanut. Nobody's buying this. Again, look, I asked.
I already bought it, bro. I already bought it from the moment that it went on sale. After I played it in closed beta, I already bought the game, bro.
Is it as? Probably not. But
Probably not. Hold up.
Again, look, I asked. Is it as? Probably not.
So it looks like ass. Is the game actually ass? Probably not. So you're basically just confirming that you're hating on the game for no good reason. You don't like the art style. The game's perfectly good, but we're just going to hate the game anyway. He's just calling what I'm saying is the case. For some reason, he doesn't register that he's contradicting himself or exposing how shallow and ignorant he is. And just putting it out there. I'm shallow and ignorant. And I have ignorant opinions that don't actually have any tangible reality to it, like truth to it or valid criticism to it. I'm just saying my ignorant ass opinions based off of superficial, shallow shit. And that's who I am.
But it looks like it.
By the way, this guy who's just basically self-admitting to be shallow and ignorant has 20,000 subscribers.
Enough for people to play it and say, hey, listen, I ain't feeling this. Is it terrible? No.
Then why are you hating on it then? Why are you hating on it if you yourself saying is it terrible? No, why are you hating on it then? Why are you hating on a game that isn't terrible? Aren't you just proving the burnt peanut correct? Aren't you literally showing the evidence of why burnt peanut is correct to tell all you people to shut up? Because you're literally saying the game isn't bad, I just don't like how it looks. Just shut up. Your opinion's not valid. Stop talking.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, am I supposed to take just your word for it? Ninja seems to think otherwise.
Oh, was this appeal to authority? I mean, do you call it an appeal to authority? I mean, it's appeal to, I guess, consensus. It's not really consensus. It's a popular figure who will determine the perceptions of many other people. So it's like, that's like a consensus because this person essentially can influence the opinions of others. So you're sort of appealing to their consensus, which is like a appeal to the popular consensus because they'll be influenced by him, but he sort of acts as an authority. So it's kind of like an appeal to authority and an appeal to consensus at the same time. I don't quite understand the dynamic of what you would call that logical fallacy, but you're basically essentially appealing to a consensus of some sort. There's your argument here. Who cares what Ninja thinks?
This game is ass!
Why? Because you died to AI. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, the AI is pretty brutal, and I was like in the closed beta saying, hey, my AI kind of kills you pretty fast, but in my actual live play that I played, I probably only got killed by AI a couple of times in kind of some dread kind of buggy ways, to be fair. And I died to a lot less AI this time around than in the beta, but I guess I was used to it already. I'd already sort of downloaded that AI is a threat, or maybe they tuned it a little bit, that it wasn't quite as brutal. The fact that Ninja's dying to AI isn't a reason to hate on the game just because Ninja can't deal with the AI. He's taken back by how powerful the AI is and dying as a result. He's just not, he's being bad at the game, innit? He's just being bad at the game. So you point to a popular YouTuber or content creator saying, look, he's bad at the game and doesn't like the game because he's bad at the game. I'm going to point to that as a reason why the game is bad, because Ninja must know. He's a fucking popular streamer. Like, why are you appealing to a streamer for your opinion that the game is bad? Like, shouldn't you just have actual arguments that you can just rely on to say this is why the game is bad, why I don't like it, this gunplay is bad for such and such reason, the gameplay is bad for such and such reason. Not like, I just don't like the way that it looks. I just don't like the way that it looks. It's not a bad game, but I just don't like the way that it looks. Look, here's Ninja being bad at the game and he hates the game, so it must be a bad game. Like, why are we appealing to all this logically fallacious shit? Why hasn't anyone got any actual meat and potatoes to the things that they say that are actually valid and true? No one has any of this.
This game's ass.
Two more.
I can't see. These guys all look the same. They look like the AI we just fought.
It's kind of true, but it's not really true. The AI is more square and blocky, and players are more circular and rounded. But yeah, sure, except for like the Rook, but the Rook's meant to blend in. All the players are more rounded, and the AI is more blocky and square. Yeah, sure, it's hard to distinguish on the fly, but I never had a problem distinguishing people. And since the AI is such a threat anyway, you should just treat everybody as a fucking threat all of the time. So I don't see how, if you're treating everybody as an equal threat all of the time, that you're going to have a problem distinguishing who a player is and who isn't a player. You just kill everybody indiscriminately with the same ruthlessness, whether they're an AI or they're a player. I don't really see this as a valid argument, though I can understand how you might not be able to tell who's who in a pinch, but it's just something you just get used to. There are many games that are like grey-brown military shooters where I can't fucking tell people from my own allies to the enemies that I'm fighting, and I'm confused in your standard grey-brown military shooters. This is not something that's unique to the color scheme or the art aesthetics of this particular game. There are many games using regular aesthetics where you can have trouble distinguishing who enemies, players are, etc.
I think. Oh, great, dude! Look at this mob.
Bro, it's literally, you know what these screens remind me of? They remind me of being at a Tool concert.
You know what they remind me of, bro? Like disgusting shit.
Okay, nice.
I mean, Ninja's not really wrong. I mean, like I say, I call it synthetic disturbia or like synthetic horror. It's kind of weird. It's kind of disjointed. Makes you feel uncomfortable. It feels unnatural. It feels like, synthetic. It feels not human in a way that is perfectly encapsulates the atmosphere of the game. It's a good artistic decision. You might not like it. It might make you feel uncomfortable, but it works with the aesthetic and the art that they're trying to go for. It makes perfect sense, and it works incredibly well to create the atmosphere that they're trying to create in the game. People hating on it, it's like, whatever, guys. I don't know what to say, man. You're just kind of ignorant and just don't like things that aren't your typical run-of-the-mill standard game. You're basically just all proving you're fake gamers, and you only ever like things that appeal to the common denominator or whatever.
There you go. So I mean, like, Peanut, who am I supposed to, is it your word or is it Ninja's word? You know what I'm saying?
Don't take anyone's word. Have your own opinions. Be an individual. Stop being a sheep. How about that?
You keep
Stop being ignorant and shallow. Stop thinking about substance and merit and content, and form your own conclusions.
harping on to this idea that anytime they try something new, what the fuck is new about this? There's nothing new about this. It's an extraction shooter. Check. It has the classic Bungie shooting mechanics. Check.
Right.
But
how many games are actually in the extraction shooter genre currently that are successful? Tarkov and Arc Raiders are the only actual successful extraction shooters on the market that make a lot of money. right? Those are the only ones, Tarkov and Arc Raiders. But in the Battle Royale genre, you've got what? Call of Duty, you've got PUBG, you've got Fortnite, there's probably a couple of others that also make a decent amount of money here and there that I can't think of off the top of my head. But already there, you've still got like more Battle Royales than you do extraction shooters in the genre, right? So why is it that you're thinking that like what there's too many extraction shooters? Hunt Showdown is the greatest extraction shooter ever made, and it only sits on like 20-30k concurrent players. Like there's not a lot of people playing Hunt Showdown, yet it's the best one in the genre. And there's room for more popular extraction shooters that are more typical of an actual extraction shooter, because one doesn't exist. You've either got Tarkov, which is incredibly in-depth, very complicated game with, you need like a million keybinds. You got to do like the half presses, the long presses and the half presses. If you get your med kits all set up so that you're holding down a button for when you're doing your bleeds, and pressing the button when you're just doing a bandage, and you got to customize all your different controls. It's a whole thing. You can put your gun around the corner. You got like a bajillion binds for the game. You got huge amounts of map knowledge to understand, and you don't have a crosshair on the screen. You can't really do hip fire reliability. It's a very in-depth, complex, overly complicated at sometimes extraction shooter. And then you got Hunt Showdown, which is a very streamlined extraction shooter that doesn't have any of the loot in it. You just have the objective, which basically works almost like capture the flag. You basically capture your flag, you take it back to an extraction. Basically how it works, more or less. Like, it's not quite as simplistic as that, but it's more or less like that. You get your objective, you leave, and you fight along the way, and that's basically all there is. It's a very streamlined experience that pushes people into PvP battles, and that's what you get in extraction shooter. But the Arc Raiders is a third-person game that has a lot of the looting and questing of a game like Tarkov, but more casual, with something like a Fortnite. It's third-person shooter, so you can peek around corners and all that. Not quite as hardcore as, say, a Tarkov or a Hunt Showdown, which means there's a perfect room here in this space for a game like Marathon, which is a streamlined version of Tarkov with quests and objectives and loot, with the streamlined nature of Hunt Showdown, or with the very visceral combat and gunplay of a proper first-person shooter like a Destiny or a Halo, and it not being third-person, peeking around corners and all that sort of stuff. So you got a very streamlined experience of an extraction shooter with very solid first-person shooter mechanics, and that is like the middle ground between Hunt Showdown and Tarkov. It sits in the perfect place. It's perfectly viable to exist. It's not oversaturated. It's in a perfect position to be the middle ground between your streamlined Hunt Showdown experience and your hardcore, overly complicated Tarkov experience. Like, there is validity for it to exist.
You pick up, weapons and armor and stuff like that to survive. Check. Like, what's new?
Yeah, okay, well, by your logic, why fucking play any first-person shooter? Let's just play Doom from 1992. Why play anything like beyond Doom? I mean, everything is just fucking Doom, right? First-person, check. Guns, check. Pick up health packs. Kill monsters, check. Like, you could say the same shit for every first-person shooter. Some ignorant shit again. More ignorant bullshit points. Like, there's plenty of space for new extraction shooters. There's plenty of space for new first-person shooters. Are you going to the next military when War Dogs comes out? For those who don't know, War Dogs, quickly, got War Dogs here quickly. So we got War Dogs here. Coming soon, early access. It's basically like an extraction battle royale type game. PvP, team-based PvP with some like extraction-like things. Basically, your standard military affair. Is Artreus here going to come out and say, oh look, it's another Call of Duty extraction shooter. It's got military skin, check. It's got brown-grey color scheme, check. It's got guns, check. Like, is he going to do the same ignorant shit to this game or the next military game that comes out? I don't think that he is. I think he you know what I'm saying? This is just a completely ignorant position to be in that he's making.
What is new?
you ever heard the phrase that there's nothing new under the sun? There isn't really anything new. All you can really do is make amalgamations and variations of the things that already exist.
It's nothing new. Except this dirty ass art style.
There's nothing wrong with the art style. You just don't like it because you think it's gay, because you're ignorant.
Oh, they try something new and you shit on it because it's garbage. I don't care what you try new. If it's garbage, it's garbage. And now, and what I really hate the most is you and these other content creators trying to push on this narrative that I'm obligated to allow a game that just came out to.
I think you're obligated to have real opinions that are based on actual substance and not based on ignorant shit. I think that you are, as a human being, obligated to do. When you put your opinions out in the public, I think you're obligated to be truthful and have substance to the things that you say. And if you don't do these things, I think you're being antithetical to society and being a detriment to humankind altogether, because you're just sprouting ignorant shit, which only creates more ignorant shit. So we don't really need people like you with ignorant opinions talking your shit. Yeah, you have the right and the opinion to do so, but should you be obligated or be allowed, you know, I think you should be obligated to do the right thing. That's what everyone should be obligated to do. You're not forced to do it, but you should be obligated to do the right thing. And doing the right thing is having opinions that aren't ignorant and are founded on substance and things that are true and logical. And if you're doing those things, then the right things will always happen. If you go against these things, then you create negative outcomes, and negative things will happen as a result. So you're creating a negative climate, and you're sprouting ignorance. You're using logical fallacies to back up that opinion, which means you're embedding logical fallacious thinking into the minds of other people, which will then be used not just on gaming, but in other things in life as well. You're not creating anything good in the world by being ignorant and sprouting that information around there, and then acting like you don't have an obligation to be truthful and honest with your opinion. Like, you're obligated to not be an ignorant dickhead. I think that's a fair statement and a fair thing to say. You should be obligated to not be a dickhead, an ignorant dickhead.
To continue to cook. No, bitch. If that's the case, you should have came out in early access.
Literally a service slam. I mean, it is early access. I mean, sure, it's only a week before release, but it's still out. Play it for free.
See, that would only make sense.
They already had a couple of closed betas already. I got into one of them, so it wasn't like it was hard to get into.
If I went to a game like No Rest for the Wicked and shitted on it so much and didn't come back. Notice how No Rest for the Wicked, they released it in early access, let it cook up, and then now it's one of the best-selling games. Which I gotta get back on that game, by the way.
I don't know what his argument is here.
So I like, get that shit out of here, dog. Like, go straight to hell.
So if your early access comes out way before the game actually comes out, that's the difference of your game being good or bad. I don't think that's a very strong position or an argument to have.
I'm sorry. I know there's gonna be a lot of his fans that are gonna dislike this video, and that's okay.
I'm not a fan of Peanut for a fact. I mean, you can go check my video that I already made on the burnt peanut, calling that as being a cheater. So I'm definitely not defending Peanut in that way. It's just that I just don't disagree with what Peanut is saying, and give credit where credit is due. When people say the right things, that it should be, you know, defended, even if I disagree with some of the other things I think they're doing. You know, like if they say something's true, then I can't just say that it's not true just because I disagree with them. They're cheating.
You know what I'm saying? I don't hold no ill will towards you. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel.
Anyway, let's move on to some other clips. Let's move on to some other clips, other people, some other opinions.
Might heal me up a little.
Here's a little a clip from Dr. Disrespect here. Just playing the game. I'm going to point out some other things that he was talking or whatever in his in the stream he was playing it. But I just wanted to point out this particular clip because I played it and I was basically I played.
Are they directly behind the wall or no? Yeah, they're literally right behind this thing. There's 3 of them.
He's behind me now. Oh,
is you guys? Yeah, they're right here, guys. They're right ahead. Right here too. Right up top. Flanking these cowards.
That guy just fucking threw me.
Hit them. There's one more sitting behind.
Take your time. Take your time.
I'm here with you.
Heal up first.
I will knock you. I'm a little weak. Massive.
That
You
too?
guys want to try resing me?
Back for you. Wait, behind me. He was using
Behind me, he's on you. He's on us. He's on us.
Yeah, he used some like invisible thing.
I pinged. I'm trying to ping him for you. He's like north, directly north up the hill.
Come up to me.
I'm trying to. I don't see him. He was north.
Yep,
He's
he's coming to me.
behind him. He's behind you. Yeah, really.
Behind you, Doc. Behind you.
Let's fight! Or not! Where's the fucking audio, man? Give me some fucking audio. That matters to the game!
No footstep cheats, bro. No footstep cheaters.
That's on me, boys. I went down first.
Oh, I got self-revive? Hold on, we're not done yet. Hold on.
Heal up first, maybe. Do you want to try and res me?
Got one?
Wait.
Got all of them? All of them. Got you. I got you. No, it's not. There's one more.
Basically skip through. It's just a dude on the floor, I believe.
Ah,
He's
man.
going in for the resurrection here. Just him walking and crawling away here. Skip all of it.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
That guy's got to have a self or something, right?
He's dead.
You mind throwing that healer thing at me?
And the reason why I put this clip in there, because I just feel like how out of character it is for the Doc to literally come back from a self-revive, clutch basically a 1v2, 1v3 or whatever, and literally outplay them as a solo in a massively disadvantaged position, and not be like, let's go, speed, momentum, violence, and all the shit that the Doc always comes. He's like, no, he's not saying anything. He's not even going to hype it up at all. He's not going to say nothing. He's just going to be like, nah, nothing's happened here. No excitement, no hype for the amazing comeback that the Doc just did. Just completely subdued, not saying nothing whatsoever. I find it very suspicious that the Doc isn't like hyped by this turn of events whatsoever.
Damn.
That was
definitely
just
should
like
get
2 minutes ago.
That was a crazy run.
Self revives too.
Yeah, that self-revive was like,
What is the one is that?
yeah. This is a weird game, isn't it? It's like,
It is.
The Doc knows it's a good game, but it's almost like he's got some sort of master or a puppet that says we're not allowed to say anything positive about this game. It's like everyone seems to be on a team, and the team is Operation Hate Marathon. He's like, it's a weird game. He knows it's good. He's just made this sick comeback. He knows it's a good game, but it's almost like there's a force preventing him from just coming out and saying, dude, it's a good game. I'm loving this game. I'm having a great time.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know what's going on half the time.
I feel like it doesn't have a soul or something. It's weird.
Well, that's because of the sort of synthetic vibe of the game, right? That's generally the vibe that they're going for, right? To not have a soul, but it's like not because it's made with no soul, it's made with an artistic intent for it to feel that way, because it's a very synthetic, dehumanized, not natural world that you're living in.
I feel like half the upgrades don't really do anything on the character thing.
There's so much like bullshit you have to go through to get to the good stuff. Seems like.
That was a good raid though. I went up a good bit.
What level are you guys at? Oh, we were all 11.
Yeah.
Wow. We're kind of moving up fast.
Finally got enough material. Like, did you guys notice you got to get like material to level your shit up, like to level up your guy? You got enough material, I think, to buy one of these upgrades.
I don't know anything about it. I don't know if I'm feeling it. I gotta be honest. I don't think there's enough here. I feel like something is really off. Something is really off. Also, like, hey, you know, let's say here's a
Again, it's like no one seems to have any actual arguments. It almost feels like people are being forced, like there's some script, like against their will, like they're being held at gunpoint, that they have to hate on the game. Where are the actual arguments, guys? Like, if you didn't like it, why can't you just come and say, look, I don't like it for this reason? Why is it all like, I don't know, man. It's like something ethereal. It's in the ether. I can't quite pinpoint what it is. I can't point to a specific thing.
another issue too. Let's say people get really good at the game and understanding, well, and it won't take very long to understand, like, okay, spawns, where can players be?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
all of a sudden everyone's like, fuck,
Yeah.
I am not looting anything. I'm just going to go straight to the action.
Yeah.
These raids
Yeah.
will die out within the first fucking 5-10 minutes.
Isn't this just the problem of extraction shooters in general? Can't you apply this to Arc Raiders, to Hunt Showdown, to Tarkov? Like, can't you just apply this logic that you're applying to Marathon to literally all extraction shooters? I don't see how this is a valid argument. Again, it doesn't have an argument. No one has any actual valid arguments. They're all completely made up, pulling it, grasping at straws, pointing to aesthetics, saying generic things that could apply to many things. These aren't real arguments. There's nothing substantial. There's no real valid criticism occurring here at all.
Because everyone's just going to go fight, and then that's it, and then bye-bye.
Does that logically make sense? Like, people are going to be doing their objectives first and foremost. People just do their objectives. How can you run straight to the PvP where the action's going if you don't know where people are? Like, there's going to be high loot areas which people will loot, which people will probably run to get fights, which then people probably won't go to because they're high-end loot and they don't want to get immediately killed. So there's going to be a reaction to that where people will go elsewhere and people are going to do their objectives. There's nothing in the game to forcibly push people into PvP. And I've taken this point out here because there's another thing that he said either before this or after, and I'll tell you which when I get to it, where what he's saying now completely contradicts opinions that he's already or is about to make or has already made about the game already. This doesn't make sense what he's saying here.
I don't know. Something feels really off with this game.
I don't have a reason to hate the game. I just got to say my masters have told me I must hate game. Lord Satan has told me I'm doing my tongue movements. Like, Lord Satan has told me that I have to hate on the game. So we're all on Team Satan. We're all got to hate on the game because we've been told to do so. I don't have a reason. We've just been told the script come down from the Satan himself to hate on the game. So now we've got to hate on the game. Like, what's going on here? Why does everyone seem like they're all in some kind of team or conspiracy with each other to hate on the game for no reason? Like, that's what it looks like, but it feels like.
And maybe at the same time we haven't experienced going like, oh shit, you know, we got our ass kicked that one, and oh, we got our ass kicked again. Now I'm getting low on good inventory, and I mean, we kind of did, but then we used our free kit, and we literally just, I came up on the one guy, and I'm still using it.
What's the problem?
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Are the other guys like getting their messages from Satan as well? Like, quick, I better get the download on and check what my masters are telling me I'm supposed to say about this game. Like, what's going on? What's with the long silence to have an opinion about a game? Maybe they're not there, maybe they're not heard. I don't know. There's an awful long silence after being asked, what do you think about the game? And then no one talks.
No character. Extraction gaming is killing gaming. It's not killing gaming.
There's 2 extraction shooters that are big and popular, Arc Raiders and Tarkov, and Arc Raiders is largely the most popular. There aren't no other extraction shooters. They all exist with a very small player base, the best of them having 20 or 30k players online at any given time.
You gotta understand, it's the same argument with battle royales. It's like,
Correct.
oh, there's super congested or whatever. It has nothing to do with that. It's got to do with good game design that has this incredible like gameplay loop that just contributes.
This guy literally just like came back from a self-revive and like 1v3'd another team in exceptional outplay, and he's just gonna hate on the game. I've played Arc Raiders. The Doc's played Arc Raiders. We've all had the situations where you're trying to close in on a dude and you're like thinking, right, I'll get up around these rocks and I'll cut him off, and then you're like sliding up and down the rocks, like you can't traverse over the rocks as cleanly as you'd like because you're slipping and you're sliding and you can't traverse all over all of these environmental things, making it very slow and very clunky to actually move around and actually cut people off in the game. And the Doc complains about it, has complained about that type of thing at all. But here in Marathon, you don't get that same kind of jank. You can literally move over everything, bounce, run and jump, and cleanly move on to things. And like, you know, the sliding needs a little bit of work. Like, I don't think the slide's very good for any of the characters, whatever. But apart from the slide being bad, the running and the jumping and the general traversal feels very clean, very smooth, high momentum, high violence, and all that sort of shit. But like, the Doc ain't praising for any of that shit. We'll probably go back to Arc Raiders, slipping and sliding, trying to traverse over fucking rocks and shit, like as if that's like, you know, super polished gameplay.
To an awesome shelf life to the game, right?
Which contract are you guys activating so we're all on the same one?
Dr. Disrespect, he's got his fishing rod out. And he's trying to fish for a reason to hate the game. He's trying to throw the bait out there. He's trying to get other people to try and grab the bait so he can try and reel people into hating the game. It's like he doesn't have any real meat and potatoes on the end of that fishing rod. It's just literally nothing. It's just a hook and no bait. And he's throwing it out there and he's trying to reel in people with just nonsense and just theoreticals and just like nothing burger arguments, trying to reel people into hating on the game. That's what it looks like is happening here.
I do like doing that.
This game, I don't know.
Let's check.
I want to try this what about deconstruct?
Just say you don't know. Like, it's like, look, my masters keep telling me I've got to hate this game, but I can't think of any reasons why I have to hate on the game.
Deconstructed, because I haven't even started this one yet. Have y'all done deconstructed?
Hold on, guys. Can I ask you a question?
Talk to me.
We're 6 hours into the game. You know, I'm just throwing a feeler out for you guys. Thoughts?
Throwing a fishing rod out there, throwing a fishing rod. I'm trying to reel you guys in to hate on the game because my masters say so.
On the game in regards to, I don't know, anything. I guess like what do you think?
After that raid, it's growing on me. I mean, that was the best raid we had. We got a bunch of good shit.
So I'm saying like the Doc knows, like you can tell, he can't lie. The facial expressions don't lie. The Doc knows. After that raid where we just like, you know, I think this is after. I think this is not even the previous raid, but like, I think this is the game after the 1v3 comeback. So they've already had the 1v3 comeback because they were all level 11, they're level 12 now. They've been on a raid. So they're saying the last raid, just before that one, he's starting to turn around. So they've had the 1v3 comeback from the Doc, and then they've had another good raid, and now they're like, oh, now it's starting to feel like I'm coming around to it. Doc knows as well, but he still feels like he's got like an agenda, some kind of hidden force looming over him that's trying to convince other people that the game isn't good, but he doesn't want to come out or outright say it because he knows he's being dishonest and he doesn't want to be. He's trying to find a way to get other people to try and talk negative and talk shit about the game so he can try and reel them in and go off of what they say so it doesn't look like he's being disingenuous. He can try and bait other people into being disingenuous or having maybe a valid reason to hate it that he can catapult off of, but he's fishing for a reason to hate the game or get other people to hate the game. He knows the game isn't bad. You can tell by his facial expression it isn't a bad game, and he's just looking to reel people into hating the game or having a reason to hate the game.
I mean, I'm kind of having fun.
Okay. Yeah, it's fun when you fight
It almost looks a little bit disappointed, like, okay, well, I can't fault you for that, but I need, my masters tell me we're supposed to hate on the game. We're supposed to hate on current thing. We've been told Lord Satan transmitted the information through my cyber brain that I have to hate the game.
players. These like cutscenes, the cutscenes are like OD. Like I don't think anyone that has played this game so far has actually listened to these cutscenes. The player versus player is fun though. I'll give it that.
What about you, Doc? You like
How
it?
you feeling?
You know, I'm having a good time because you know I'm playing with you guys and we're teaming up and we're dominating. But I'm just trying to like figure out like why would anybody play this over Apex Legends?
Because Apex Legends is a battle royale and this is an extraction shooter.
That was my question. Apex
I feel like
Legends,
this is-
it's just different. I mean, it's the same aesthetic, pretty much. But like
There's
Apex
no
is way,
extraction
yeah,
in Apex.
yeah, but it's way more competitive. It's way more like action, you know, action. There's elements in there where it's like,
Remember what I said earlier, like the thing he was saying was going to contradict himself to the things he was about to say. He was saying what's going to happen when people figure out where all the players are, where all the loot is, and people are just going to skip straight to the PvP action, and then people are going to start, you know, PvP actioning all of the time. He's now reversing this and saying, well, the problem is that why wouldn't you just go play Apex Legends where it's PvP and action all of the time? He literally said one of the bad things about Marathon is that in the future it might become very PvP orientated where people don't do the extraction gameplay part. And now he's saying, why bother playing this when you can just go and play the PvP constant action in Apex Legends? You can already tell Doc is not being honest. He's obviously got some kind of script or some hidden master that is telling him he has to hate on the game, and now he's just churning out complete nonsense, even completely contradicting himself. That he literally said moments ago that the problem was that everything's going to become too PvP orientated when people know the map and know the layout and know where the best loot is. It's going to become too PvP, and it's not going to become basically extraction orientated. It's not going to be, oh, is there going to be any players around? No, you're going to be instantly like rolled upon. You know what I mean? Like that's his worries about what the game's going to go. And now his argument is, why not just go play Apex Legends where it's constant action all of the time? It's complete hypocrisy here, like complete contradiction. And this is how you know he has an agenda to hate on the game. And he's not trying to do it himself. He's trying to reel other people in to do the hating for him. And now that it's been unsuccessful, now he needs a reason to hate on the game. And now he's invented another reason, but the reason he's invented contradicts his initial opinion that he made earlier, which is how you know he's being disingenuous. He's got a master telling him he's got to hate the game.
oh, I shoot my shield, or I shoot people's shields. Shit, my shield turns from a gray to a blue and then to a purple or whatever. So there's this evolution of your guy growing within the game. And it's just fast paced, it's athletic, but like, why would...
So basically what he's saying is Apex Legends is basically a super fast streamlined version of an extraction shooter. So don't bother playing an extraction shooter, just play the streamlined, immediate, into the action gameplay straight away. Why bother playing Tarkov when you can just play Call of Duty Warzone? Why play Tarkov? You can just play Call of Duty Warzone. Just play Apex Legends. Why bother with Tarkov? Right? The reason why people play extraction shooters is because it's like a semi-open world area in which you are sort of pushed towards an objective, but combat's not guaranteed. You don't know where the players are, where they're going to appear from. In a battle royale, you're literally forced into PvP combat, where PvP combat is an inevitability. You can play Hunt Showdown and you can go to the boss bounty, kill the boss, get the bounty, nobody shows up and you extract out, nothing happened, and that's 20 minutes. And you can say, hey, that's boring and nothing happened in the game, but that's part of the allure of an extraction shooter. You don't know what's going to happen. You've got to be constantly on guard for the unknown. You don't know if there's a rat around the corner. You don't know if you're going to run into somebody or not. That's the beauty of an extraction shooter. And you don't necessarily want the, oh, I just instantly got some armor and instantly upgraded to my red armor because I got enough damage. Maybe you want the idea of getting loot and protecting that loot taking it back where the items have value, and it creates a different dynamic than just having a shield that upgrades over time because of damage you're doing. You're talking about something simplistic and very dumb and to the point, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if you just want immediate action, or the extraction shooter, which is a little bit more nuanced in its mechanics that create more dynamic play where you're not necessarily forced into combat, which creates more of a tactical experience and more dynamic tactical experience than say in Apex Legends, which is always forcing you into combat. Like, that's the beauty of an extraction shooter. And if they've done what Hunt Showdown has done, where they've really thought about the environment with the way you interact with the environment, you know, barrels, lanterns, water, like all the different mechanics that make it almost like an immersive sim, like a Deus Ex type game. And while, you know, Marathon doesn't have that level, they do have like the birds and the noise trap, and they've got like the shutters, so you can put all the shutters down when you're inside a building to stop people from just seeing you from afar and sniping you. So there is environmental things to consider. I don't know the extent that it goes. You know, you got tripwires and laser mines and stuff like that to consider. And these create, you know, other things that create dynamic and varied gameplay that you're just not going to find in a battle royale where you're just running straight to the action. So this is not really a good argument that you can just go play Apex Legends. Why? Because that's weird fantasy sci-fi looking shit as well. So therefore, why bother with all the nuance of an extraction shooter if you just want sci-fi shit? Go play Apex Legends. You just want the combat. Well, by the same logic, why play Tarkov when you can just play Call of Duty Warzone? It's exactly the same logic, right? No, you want the more in-depth experience that Tarkov offers, and maybe some people want a Tarkov-like experience, or maybe they don't want to feel like they're piloting a fucking mech robot with the amount of different keybinds that you need to be competitive in that game, when you might just want to play a game that's a little bit more streamlined, or maybe not quite as streamlined as a Hunt Showdown, where there's still a little bit of questing and a bit of looting. This has got a nice balance here. Doc's arguments here are contradictory and complete nonsense.
But I want to move away from that to something like this. If I'm in this genre.
This isn't even completely the whole game. So, I mean, I think it's just kind of, you have to grind to level up to really experience it.
I mean, I think this is Bobby Puff or whatever speaking. I don't think that's a very good argument. I mean, I think you've experienced enough of the game to sort of know what the game is like. Sure, there is the fourth map, which apparently is supposedly quite different from the other maps, so we're yet to see what all that is about. So we haven't seen the whole game. We've seen enough of the game to know the quality of the game. So I don't really agree with Bobby there. I think you've seen enough in the game to sort of know what the game is about for the most part.
Like at that high level.
And I'm just playing.
Sure, you're not seeing high level with all loaded out gear and what that kind of combat is like. True. But again, you've seen enough of the game to sort of extrapolate what that's going to be like.
I'm just playing the moderator here. You know, I'm just trying to get the conversation going.
You know, you're fishing for hate, bro. He's the hate fisherman looking for that hate fish swimming in the ocean. He wants to reel in that Moby Dick of hate. He's gonna reel it in and try and catch that hate, and then capitalize on that hate, and then he'll have done his job for his master.
I'm having a good time.
Even if you are the highest level, though, it's like I don't understand what the end goal. I guess like just fighting other people with Giga Loot as well, and it's just like the battle of the Giga Loot, and whoever wins, or.
Welcome to extraction shooters. Kind of, that's how it is. I mean, if you get shit on by the dudes with the best gear in Tarkov, you get shit on by the best gear in the Arc Raiders, you get shit on. In fact, the only game where gear doesn't matter quite as much is Hunt Showdown, where even the weakest weapons can have incredible reach. I mean, it's incredibly well balanced. Even free weapons can do a lot. They have their downsides for sure. Romero's only having single shots. It has the tightest spread and the most accurate shotgun in the game, and you can get kills at ranges that other shotguns can't usually do. So it's a very well balanced shotgun. And all the weapons in the game are quite well balanced in Hunt Showdown. Might be issues where that sort of outliers where it's not quite balanced or whatnot here or there, but for the most part, there is very good weapon balance in Hunt Showdown. In my opinion, from what I've played over the years, where even the free loadout can win entire games, and it's just not really an issue.
That's what I don't understand about the extraction shooters. It's like, what's the end goal?
There is no end goal. It's a perpetual loot killing simulator. That's all it is. There is no end goal. Why do you need there to be an end goal? You play the game to play the game. You do quests, you do loot, you kill players. That's it. You do that infinity and beyond. There's nothing else. That's the game. Why are you looking for a unicorn that doesn't exist? Okay, this is not an argument for why the game is bad because there's no point or end game. Like, there's no end game in fucking Escape from Tarkov except for escaping Tarkov, right? As far as the game is concerned, it's quests, loot, PvP, that's your game, nothing else. Why are you trying to magically materialize an end game or a reason to play that can't possibly ever exist? Okay, it's not just something that you want or desire. You're literally asking for something that can't exist. You're asking for solid water. People will say ice, it's ice, solid water's ice, but you know what I'm trying to say. You're trying to say something that doesn't exist.
Dash up your vault to the fucking max, I guess.
That's why I like games like Warzone and stuff, because like, I don't know, there's leaderboards and there's like incentive to win and like stuff like that, and you can also see like challenges and stuff. Whereas like on these extraction shooters, I don't know what the end goal of the game is.
Extraction.
I see. I'm just kind of still soaking it all in because there's a lot.
Yeah,
that
but it is fun though. It's definitely fun.
But that's it, basically. The dog's basically just talking shit about the game just to hate on the game for no actual reason to hate on the game, and then trying to fish to get other people to hate on the game so that he has a basis of hate to catapult his hatred of the game off of. For which, why is he doing that? It's almost like there's a script that certain content creators are all involved in some kind of team where they've all agreed this is the game that we need to shit on, like they're trying to control public opinion on the game, like they're in a team, and the team hate the game for no reason, and it doesn't matter. Like, why does it seem like that's the case? Because no one has any valid argument against the game. So why would I not think that when people look like they're fishing for a reason to hate the game? So here's another semi-popular YouTuber. I think it's fairly popular these days, 130k subs, so yeah, he's quite a popular dude, Smash JT, and he's played Marathon. They're literally called Oof. I played Marathon, so you don't have to, okay? Let's see what Smash JT's opinion is on Marathon.
So many complicated menus for about an hour and a half to 2 hours on stream, and it was pretty bland, pretty boring, and honestly reaffirmed all the concerns I had going into it. To which I say,
Such a weird phrase, say reaffirmed. You haven't played the game and you were reaffirmed, so you already affirmed it was bad based off of not playing it, and then you just reaffirmed what you already affirmed by actually playing it. Yeah, that doesn't really seem like a good thing to do. And when you haven't played it, is to already be set in the mind that it's already a bad game before you've played it, and then just reaffirmed that you just don't like the game after you've already affirmed to yourself that you didn't like the game. One might think that if you've already affirmed to yourself that you don't like the game is bad, that if you go in with that affirmation, you're just going to commit confirmation bias, and you're just going to confirm the bias that you already had right in advance.
understand why they're charging money for this game. So many complicated menus, explanations.
Because the model for the genre has been pay to play. Arc Raiders, Hunt Showdown, Tarkov. Like, I don't think there is a single free to play extraction shooter, and the only one I can think of off the top of my head is The Cycle, and that got shut down because of rampant cheating, which is made obviously a lot easier when it's a free to play game. You're still going to get rampant cheaters even when it's a pay to play game, but it makes it a lot harder to just keep making new accounts over and over again when they get banned, as it does in The Cycle, where they literally couldn't stop the cheaters because they can just literally keep making free accounts ad nauseum.
Overwhelming features, descriptions, and at the end of the day, while you're playing it, you're just like, I don't even know what the point of what I'm doing is and why I'm doing it and what this accomplishes and where it gets me to and why I should even care. And that is only second to the biggest fault of this game is it feels like it forgot to be fun, which is the most grave error any game could ever make. I said on X, my honest experience of Marathon About 2 hours in, overcomplicated interface,
I mean, it's not that complicated. I mean, I maybe ran into 2, maybe 3 issues in the UI that I basically just overcame, and then it wasn't a problem anymore. So I don't really see what the problem is. Yeah, it can seem a little bit daunting because of the color scheme, but it's not that difficult to navigate your way through an AI, through a UI. So I don't know how saying that, I don't want to accuse people or sound like I'm insulting people, but it just sounds like it's saying I'm dumb and I can't figure out the UI, therefore the game is bad. I don't think that's a good argument or position to have either.
overwhelming inventory, items, confusing purpose.
I mean, overwhelming items in inventory, is it though? Is it any more overwhelming than Tarkov? Lots of items, a lot of it's like junk, a lot of it has very nuanced use cases. Like, isn't it just as overwhelming in the items in inventory as Tarkov?
The biggest fault though, it's just not fun. At least not yet. I generally went in with no bias. I found
He literally said moments ago in this very video that he did go in with a bias because he said he reconfirmed. Let's go back.
money for this game. So many, honestly, reaffirmed all the concerns I had going.
There you go. You say, look, he said he just reaffirmed everything that I already thought about the game.
Hour and a half to 2 hours on stream, and it was pretty bland, pretty boring, and honestly reaffirmed all the concerns I had going into it.
So you went in with these concerns, this bias, and then you reaffirmed that bias. So when you say here in your comment section here that you went in with no bias, you've literally contradicted yourself and you've said that you didn't. You went in with already an affirmed conclusion or concerns, as you're trying to make it out to be, and then reaffirm those concerns. That's going in with a bias, as far as I understand it.
About 2 hours in, overcomplicated. Biggest family went in with no bias. I found myself just wanting to play other games while I was in the midst of the experience. It will most likely fail. Here I am playing it, give it a shot. Here we go. Which, oh, by the way, this is me fast forwarding to the part where there's actually action.
Might want to just maybe move myself over maybe to the other corner so you can see this dude. There we go.
There was about a 10-minute period. Fast forward. Which, oh, by the way, this is me fast forwarding to the part where there's actually action. There was about a 10-minute period before this where it was just walking around.
What? 10 minutes of walking around in an extraction shooter? All this tells me is that I don't think Smash JT has ever played an extraction shooter. I don't think he's ever played an extraction shooter. Because even if you played Arc Raiders, you know there's going to be 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, entire raids where you go through and nothing could potentially happen. So I don't think he's played Arc Raiders either, the most popular of the extraction shooters. Definitely wouldn't have played Tarkov. Definitely hasn't played Hunt Showdown, like I said earlier, you know. Hunt Showdown, you can go entire runs and you don't meet anybody. Like, part of the fact that you don't know whether or not you're going to run into people is part of the charm of an extraction shooter. You don't know what you're going to get. This tells me JT has never played an extraction shooter. So then the question would become, why is somebody who doesn't play extraction shooters playing this particular extraction shooter? Well, the reason is because the game's getting a lot of hate of which he himself has propagated, because he's part of the bandwagon to hate on the game because they use pronouns or is seen as LGBT or whatever like that. So he's on the side of, you know, shitting on the game, which would mean he fundamentally entered into the game with bias, which he has claimed in a tweet. He went into the game with no bias. But the fact that you haven't played any other extraction shooters before, where you've chosen specifically for this one to go into and be negative about it, would mean you obviously went in with a bias, because why else would you be playing the game if it wasn't for the cultural zeitgeist surrounding the game? So you already had a bias or a ulterior motive to play this game specifically, and that game is lined towards being negative about the game. So you've gone in with a negative idea about the game. You've gone in the game because of the negative zeitgeist surrounding the game. So to say that you went into the game with no bias is a lie. Smash JT's lying to you about his intentions towards this game. It's another person who seems to be in a script that he's being told he has to hate on the game. Like, he's contradicting himself multiple times within this video about the nature of why he's playing this game or entering into the game with bias or no bias, etc.
I'm like, I don't even know if that's a person or a robot shooting bullets at I don't know what it is, but I was trying my best with it. This was the experience over and over again. My concern with it was when I was picking items up, I had no idea what the items did. There was very little explanation. The menus were super complicated. I didn't know where to put things, how to utilize them, what they were supposed to do, how to get more bullets. And yes, I'm sure in time, if you dedicate hours upon hours, maybe days upon days into this game, you will figure out all of those things and the mechanics of it.
Yeah, I figured them all out within the first few runs of the game. Yeah, I figured out the UI. I figured out pretty much generally what most of the items do, or at least the general idea of what these items do, and had no problem putting in backpack and just general little inventory management and all that kind of stuff. I had no problem with it. So why are you having a problem with it? Like, again, I don't want to throw shade at people, but maybe you're dumb, or maybe you're being disingenuous and you're just looking for reasons to hate the game. So you're just going to say that it's all confusing, it's all complicated, and you're just going to play dumb because it suits the purpose of making the game look bad by playing dumb. Like, what are you going to say? That you need to be handheld everywhere you go? You need tooltips and yellow paint everywhere you're going so that you know how to play a game? Sorry, but I remember many years ago, people used to stand up saying, look, us real gamers, we don't need this hand-holding. I don't need a waypoint marker in yellow paint telling me where I need to go. We used to play games and we didn't need guides and tooltips and all this type of stuff. We just figured it out. That's what we did back in the day. As old school, real gamers, you never had guides, walkthroughs, keep yellow paint and stuff like that. You had an instruction manual that may have not been helpful. And that's all you had. And everything else, you pretty much had to figure it out. JT looks like my kind of age range. You think if he's a real gamer, he grew up playing real games, and sometimes you had obtuse menu systems and UIs and difficult things that you had to think about and figure out in order to be able to play the game, and to make out that this is just a problem that makes the game needs to be hated on, either suggested it's either being disingenuous and lying for an ulterior motive, or he's not a real gamer and he's just fake and a fraud. Right? Trying to be a part of the culture when he's not really a part of the culture. Right? He's just an imitator. When he's saying his name's Smash JT based off of the game Smash TV. So you think that he comes back from a retro, gaming landscape, that you played a whole bunch of games that had terrible UIs and difficult to understand mechanics that you didn't have help in. You think he would have come from that era of gamer. But now he's complaining about something because it's not obvious. Like, UIs can be fixed, okay? UI can be fixed. The colors could be just toned down on a slider. Like, most of the things that people are hating on are things that can be fixed. They're fixable. They're not permanent problems that are a problem for the game, okay? Like, the UIs in the inventory management or whatever he's complaining about here are fixable issues and not enough to hate on the game.
Understand that. But my bigger concern with it is, in this modern era of playing games, how many people are going to sit through trying to figure out overcomplicated menus for a game that's just, at the end of the day, a basic extraction shooter that I'm not really sure why I should care about it. I don't
think any game should appeal to ignorant people, basically. Like, if you're ignorant and stupid, like, no game should appeal to you. If you're you should, like, I'm taking some logic here from the X-Men animated TV show. Like, when you look into the writers, they wrote it for adults. They didn't write it for children. Like they wrote it for adults, and then children sort of aspire to understand the world, so it kind of makes the children more intelligent because they're trying to understand something that's beyond them. When you appeal to children or appeal to stupid people, then you do nothing to elevate them up. You want to try and elevate people. So if you shouldn't appeal to people being too dumb to work out a UI system, you should be trying to make a game to appeal to people to understand it, so they're using their brain and they're not just like sitting in a chair getting fat going input like Johnny 5, like some kind of fat Johnny 5 sitting in front of a monitor going input and just shoveling content into their faces without any thought or processing of it. Like, we're human beings, we're supposed to interact with the media, we're supposed to be using our intelligence and our ability. Like, he's making an argument, well, the game isn't just dumb enough for all the dumb people out there that are going to play the game, you've got to dumb it down a bit. Like, I don't think that's a good argument. I think you should just be calling out, guys, you're all dumb and you just need to like put up and shut up and like, you know, put yourself out there a little bit and just try to figure it out. It's really not that complicated, guys.
Already sure, by the way, there's going to be a diehard fan base of people, like there is with every single game, that is just like, oh, you just don't get it, bro. It's like the best game ever. And I'm like, I'm sure, but I've played a lot of games in my day. This game struck me as something that was just too. Here's the menu system, by the way. So you pick up an item and it drops it into your inventory. Yeah. And you click on Cascadian Electronics.
Sure.
Automatically sold for credits upon exfiltration.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? There you go. It's like automatically disproving that nothing is hard or to understand about that. It's basically just junk loot. I think most gamers understand the premise of junk loot, okay? Anybody who's played an RPG understands the concept of junk loot, okay? That is just to be sold off. We all understand this. We're gamers. How can you be so disingenuous and say, I come from this era of, you know, gaming, I played lots of games, but then I don't understand junk loot.
Okay, so that one does nothing. But what does this item do? What does it? Some of these are bullets, some of these are key.
Why don't you just click on them so that we can read them? It's like he's clicked on one, read it, realizes that it doesn't confirm what he's trying to say about the game, so now he's going to not highlight the other games. I mean, he's playing from a video, so he can't actually see, but the point is, like, he's not really proving his point here. Like, he's basically been disproven immediately, and then he's just basically trying to say things about the other items, what he thinks they are, based off of icons without a description to read. A little bit disingenuous, don't you think?
Cards. Some of these are grenades. Some of these are like armor. Like what? How?
Yeah, welcome to a game. You know, I can go in RPG and go. Some of these are healing items. Some of these are defensive items. Some of these are weapons. Some of these are armor types. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can say the same thing to any game. What's your argument here? It has things in it. Bad game.
How do I equip them? What do I do every single time? And I'm telling you this.
Well, that's with any game, isn't it? Like, if you were playing an RPG and you got a new item, you probably read the description of the item. Like, you know, what does this item do? Is it better than the item that I've got? Oh no, Diablo's too complicated because I have to look if the stats on the new weapon that I've picked up are better than the stats of the weapon that I've currently equipped. It's a bad game, guys. I have to look and read what the items do.
It's like 2 hours into the game, and I had a very, very basic prehistoric premise of how to understand what I was even doing with this. And I was really trying. And that's when you get into the game. It took probably 15 minutes of booting the game up, getting set up and started just to get into a game. And the game was...
Welcome to extraction shooters, man. Like, it's the reason why I try and get people to play Arena Breakout Infinite over Tarkov, because Arena Breakout Infinite has so many quality of life settings or quality of life things to instantly buy gear and loadouts and get straight into a game. Whereas Tarkov, man, it's so convoluted. Even if you just want to build a weapon, like, even if you've got a, like, it's so much easier to like have the build of a weapon that you want to take or load out and just go buy it. Like, it's so convoluted. Even if you've got to build a weapon and then save the loadout, or when you've actually built a weapon. And then even when it comes to loadouts, you can't save a loadout. You can build a weapon and save the build of your weapon, but you can't save a loadout and then immediately equip the loadout like you can in Arena Breakout. You can't do that in Tarkov. You have to set up every single time, and it's very annoying, but it doesn't stop. No one's hating on Tarkov and saying it's a bad game because of that. People are still playing Tarkov, regardless of all of its quality of life negatives. People are still playing Tarkov. So these aren't good arguments. You can apply them to Tarkov. You can apply them to other successful extraction shooters. You can also apply this to Arc Raiders.
Just a tutorial that if you didn't complete, you would have to restart over from scratch, or you could skip it. And I'm like, what is the point? Why should I care?
So, wait. So is he just saying that I don't know or understand anything about the game or even how to play the game, but the game has a tutorial, so why should I care about understanding a game that I don't understand? Is that what he's saying? I don't understand how this game is played or anything about the game. There's a tutorial, but why should I care about a game when I don't understand anything in the game? The very specific thing that the tutorial is supposed to do. Tell you how to play the game and understand the game.
This is why I think Bungie decided ultimately to charge money for this game, because they wanted people to be pot committed to playing it once they bought the game. Because if this was a free-to-play game, I would have been like, yep, another high guard on our hands. We play it. Yeah.
I mean, what he's saying isn't untrue. People who have bought into the game will clearly have a vested interest in that game. That is true. But again, all the other games in this genre are also charging and using exactly the same pay model, business model. So I don't see why Marathon should be criticized for having this business model when every other extraction shooter does. Tarkov, you're literally paying hundreds of pounds to be on the same like competitive level as other players, having to get Edge of Darkness edition or the Get Your Wallet Out edition, you know what I'm saying? Get whatever bonuses and knickknacks that are in there that give you an advantage, whether it's inventory space or specific items like, you know, the flare gun to bring in like players to help you and shit.
I get what it is. I don't care. Moving on. But people that pay money for it are maybe at least more inclined to be like, I get what it is. There's a lot of complicated menus. I'm pot committed with the money I spent on this. I'm going to learn how to play this game. There is a very, very steep learning curve.
There isn't a steep learning curve at all. It's not a steep learning curve. It might be for you, the casual gamer, which Smash JT clearly is, but those of us of experienced gamers who have played hundreds of RPGs, you know, dozens of extraction shooters and battle royales and various games of different types of genres all over the place, have no problem understanding the game. Yes, it may seem initially confusing due to the art style and the way things look visually, very noisy, but once you get your head around it, there's nothing overly complicated to understand about the game at all. No different than any other game in the genre or any other type of game. Okay, it's not complicated to understand.
It's not just a pick up and play for the first time and understanding it. And this is coming from someone who loves first person shooter games. And I'm playing this and I'm just like, holy fuck, bro.
Yeah, but saying that you love first person shooters doesn't mean that you're experienced in first person shooters. For all I know, that your experience of the first person shooters that you love is just Call of Duty, right? Something very simplistic and easy to understand. You never had to play any complicated game. So saying that, oh, I've only ever played simple games and therefore I don't understand this one, and I haven't played a lot of the games, so it must be hard to understand, so that's a negative. Like, I don't see how saying, like, if you haven't played any games of any degree of complexity to it, to be able to understand this game, I can only assume you've never played complicated games before, and then you're using the fact that you've never played complicated games before as a negative against this game because you don't understand it, due to the fact that you never played complicated games before. It's not even that complicated. I can only assume that none of this is what he's saying is true, and is purely just making up reasons to hate on the game because he has a script that he's been told he has to hate on the game, like all these other people for some reason.
There's a lot to take in with this. I could only imagine somebody who is not accustomed to FPS games, or somebody that is not used to this style, picking this up for the first time with zero explanation and not having any understanding of what they're even doing. I look at this and I'm just like, you know what this is? It's similar to what happened with Wildlight Studios High Guard, where the studio was filled with so many yes men, toxic positivity.
The problem with High Guard is that it didn't have a coherent art style. It was trying to mishmash high fantasy with like medieval and modern day warfare like imagery, and that's probably not going to be for everyone. It's probably going to look a bit disjointed, and ultimately when I looked at it, I thought, it looks like a reasonably well made game. Nothing about it looks like it's a cheap game. The production value of the game was clearly very high, and the shooting on horseback looked genuinely interesting. However, I wasn't really interested in a PvP team-based Overwatch-like game when I'm just going to play Marvel Rivals. That's the game that I've chosen to play. So for me, High Guard just didn't look interesting or any reason for me to go to it other than the game that I already had. You've already got Marvel Rivals, you've already got Overwatch. Is this really bringing anything new to the table outside of that? Does it fit into a niche? And I just don't particularly care enough about that particular genre to have cared about High Guard. But again, High Guard is kind of running into the same kind of negative press about it as this game is. However, you can clearly see the DEI influences in High Guard, in its diverse cast, that turn people off immediately, whereas the DEI LGBT woke stuff isn't apparent in this game due to the nature of its aesthetic to begin with. The nature of the theme is this cybernetic future non-human world where everything is disjointed and non-natural anyway, so LGBT stuff can kind of just fit into that, because that, without it being forced into that, it just is that. It's an aesthetic that just works as a game, as that thing. It's not forcing a political ideology, it's not forcing diversity. The nature of the style and the setting immediately makes it just a unique thing on its own merit, and it's not something that's trying to be something else where it's forcing in diversity or forcing in DEI. So that's why High Guard received the negative reaction that it did, because it was clearly, it had the look of a DEI infested game. It was being pushed by the mainstream industry, so you got to look at it. Anything like Jeff Keighley says you got to play is usually a DEI slot fest, so people were automatically going to be negative about that game, and it just looked like a DEI disaster, so nobody touched it with a 10-foot barge pole, even if the gameplay itself might have been actually good. I don't know, I didn't play it, but it didn't look like an awful game in terms of its gameplay. It just looked like the DEI game, whereas this doesn't immediately look like the DEI game because it's with its own unique setting. I don't really know how else to explain it other than that, because it's not human characters to begin with. It's kind of hard to diversify or include DEI into things that are already non-human to begin with. You can't really force the DEI in there. You can't just make everyone a black woman, for example, because they're all cyborg. So you can't really force it in the same way. So it doesn't work. Like, there's an argument as to why High Guard didn't succeed. High Guard had the DEI, the visible, obvious DEI influence of the game in it.
Slay, bro, it's amazing. Nobody was there to actually check them and be like the Nintendo, the Miyamoto, like, is it fun? Nobody was there to say that. It was, everyone's like, oh yeah, keep adding this, keep doing this, add more things, make these things do this, make all the bells and whistles in the world. I'm like, bro, what even is the game?
That didn't happen with Marathon. Like, you can clearly tell that there's intention and very well designed mechanics in this game. I can't speak on High Guard, haven't played it, but what he's saying about this game just isn't true. Like, from a person who's played a lot of extraction shooters, the mechanics on offer here are solid, very good mechanics, and there's nothing objectively wrong with them. And they're not just forced in to tick a box, they're very intelligently incorporated into the gameplay, as good as any other extraction shooter in the genre.
What is all this stuff? Why should I care? You forgot the most obvious point of all of it is it fun? At least with like Bungie's original Halo back in the...
Again, the guy went in with a bias. We all know he went in with a bias, a negative bias, and reaffirmed his negative view of the game. So he already confirmed his negative view of the game, and then he reaffirmed the negative view in the game, whilst trying to tell you not being biased, while clearly having no experience in any other extraction shooter, and clearly only played the game because of the negative reputation of the game and the anti-woke movement around the game, therefore felt compelled to go into the game. He was going in with the intention that this is the game that we all need to shit on, and therefore has affirmed his negative perceptions and has proceeded to shit on the game.
You knew there was a reason why you were proceeding through the game. You understood the storyline, the arc, and everything that was going on with it. This game is just kind of like, here's your game, bro. Play it. They forgot the most obvious thing, which it blows my mind. And we already see people taking.
Anyway, that's I think enough of Smash JT's opinion there. I think you've seen enough there to know what I'm getting at, and it's just another person who doesn't have an argument at all. It's all just subjective. I don't like the way that it looks, and just saying generic things like they forgot to have the fun in it, but there's no real meat and potatoes. There's no real substance to the arguments. Maybe there is somewhere along here, man, but I don't really have time to get into the whole video all the way through. You know, I've got some other videos and other clips to go through, and this is already going to be an insanely long video. I can already sense it already. So I want to try and keep the video as brief as possible. It's already going to be well over an hour at this point. But that's just unfortunately the nature of the beast. But let's move on to at least a few more people, so we can get a gauge of what people are saying about this game. But whatever. And Marathon is trash. Review and first impressions. Let's have a look what Ghost of 8 is saying here.
Is the worst first-person shooter extraction game I've ever played in my life. It is absolutely dog shit horrible. Keep in mind though, I've only played one other extraction shooter, and that game is known as Arc Raiders, which is, in my opinion, you know what, I take that back too. Arc Raiders was awesome, but like the way the world works nowadays, once a community of people get to play the game, they turn it fucking gay. And unfortunately, Gen Z and millennials are just gay as fuck, and quite frankly, insufferable. And once the streamers get involved,
I'm assuming he's just talking about the Don't Shoot Me Bros, isn't it? That basically ruined Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders is ruined because if you're not getting cheated on, you're running into the people who don't want to PvP, they want to play co-op, and you either have to feel guilty for killing them, or just have to constantly hesitate and second guess, oh, do I kill this person, do I don't kill this person, like, which eventually will get you killed by the people who don't give a fuck. So it just creates a level of annoyance when everyone should be on the agreement this is a PvP game. You could get your shit taken by other people. We all understand this. That's the nature of the beast. Where you just got the majority of the people who've gone into the game and they've cried that they've had their stuff stolen off of them. It's like literally jumping into the shark tank and complaining there's sharks everywhere. It's literally insane.
Like Burnt Peanut and Shroud and Ninja and all these autistic losers who view-bought their channels anyways. Fuck those guys. They and their fans come in and ruin the game. So I'm sorry I'm on a random tangent there. Arc Raiders is now shit too. Absolutely horrible. Once you play it a few hours, you realize how many bugs it's got. It had potential, but losers nowadays ruin everything. Just like Call of Duty. But speaking of losers, this fucking game right here, Arc Raiders wannabe extraction shooter. Look at the gameplay you're seeing behind me. Look at this gameplay. This gameplay behind you that I'm seeing, that you're seeing, that I'm watching, is for autistic, ADHD, Gen Z, beta male liberals that have 15 boosters and think the world's going to end because Klaus Schwab told them to eat bugs, live in a zero city, and that the climate change is going to melt the polar caps, and Al Gore is out here touching kids with Schindler's List type people over on Epstein Island. Shabbat Shalom. Habibi's in the house. Donald Trump is captured by Israel. Okay? That's what this game is for. Fucking arts, okay? It is horrible. It is autistic. It is the gunplay. Let me actually give you a real valid problem with this game. This game.
Oh shit, is he going to give real arguments? Let's have a listen.
Is for kids with no dad whose smoke alarm battery goes chirp, and they got kicked in the head by a horse when they're a kid, when they're on a Make-A-Wish with the Ronald McDonald house with the rich white folks, and then they're like, we can't keep this kid around him, put him out in the barn with the rest of the animals, and hopefully a horse kicks him in the head and we can bury the kid in the backyard. Because that's what the developers deserve for making this atrocity of a game, to be buried in the backyard with dead farm animals in the pig pit. You know what I'm saying? This shit is absolute.
Sorry, I thought there was a valid argument being about to be made, and then I just heard just a bunch of bullshit. Sorry, what? Where was that valid argument? Like, that shit that I thought was coming that didn't come.
Absolutely trash. Like the gameplay, let me just get into it. First of all,
Let's go.
look at the screen. There is so much overload of color and functions and
Right, okay, is this gameplay? I'm pretty sure like aesthetics has nothing to do with gameplay. Let's pull this back.
first of all, look at the screen. There is so much overload of color and functions and numbers and just overall just crazy shit going on that you need a degree in autism in order to even be able to figure out how to play this game or how you should be playing this game or where to go or what to do. It is just overly colorful. I'm wearing sunglasses for God's sakes.
Is this to do with gameplay? So basically, his argument is bright colors equals game is bad, bad UI equals game is bad. It's too complicated, and I'm not smart enough to understand the mechanics or the UI or anything. That's his argument, right? That's basically it. Right, that's it.
I'm probably getting retinal cancer, okay? Retinal and rectal cancer, because I feel like you got to enjoy getting deked in the dick in the butt, getting butt by a big black man named Jerome in order to enjoy this game. Because in order to enjoy this game, you have to be gay. It is horrible.
Right,
The
okay.
gunplay feels
Solid argumentation here. Anybody who plays the game is gay. That's basically what I was saying about the Atreus dude earlier. Like, I was jokingly, like, the reason why he doesn't like the game, because I don't want people thinking that I'm gay because I'm playing the game with bright colors. He's just outright saying that's the reason, right? You gotta be gay to play this game, bro. Like, you just have to be. There has to be a gayness around you. Like, if you're not playing the grey-brown slot like the rest of us, you must be gay.
like you're playing with a mouse and keyboard on a fucking iPhone, which is not even possible, and that's why it doesn't make any sense. I mean, just look at it. Just look at this game. Absolutely shit. It isn't fun. It is bad.
Why is everyone's arguing? Just look at the game. Just look at the game. Just based off his looks. He said gameplay. He said he was going to have valid arguments about the gameplay, but all he's talking about is aesthetics and looks. He ain't talking about nothing about the gameplay.
And if it's a first-person shooter and the gunplay sucks, you're done right there. This game adds nothing of value unless, of course, you like black cocks. Other than that, you will love it. You will love it. I mean, if you're into that, if you love black men and you take ADHD prescription medication and you happen to have low testosterone and you really, really like diversity and immigration.
Personal attacks. This is basically all he has is anyone who plays this game, you're just a piece of shit, basically. You're just a fucking dickhead. You're fucking homosexual. Obviously, you like fucking cocks. That's all that you like in it. That's it. That's all you can be. He doesn't have any arguments. He's just straight up personal attacking people. But like in the game, he's basically bullying people into saying the game isn't good. He's going to say, well, if you say it's good, then we're all going to think you're gay. So you better think how we're thinking. You better like your grey-brown military slot. Otherwise, we're all going to call you gay. So you better think like us, or we're all going to call you gay.
This game's for you. But this game literally is like goy slop. I feel like I'm just being sucked into the Matrix when I play this game. I mean, just look at it. Who is this game for? It's like it was made by someone who's having a goddamn epileptic fit. Like, colors here, colors there, colors here, colors there. Let's put some shit here, shit there.
That's just not true, though.
Gotta compose myself. Just relax for a second. Hold a second.
That's product placement.
Trust me when I tell you, this game is shit. I have not missed on any review of any game since Christ was a cowboy. It's just a fact. It's just a fact, okay? It's just a fact.
It's just a fact. It's not a fact because you just keep saying it's a fact. This guy's disingenuous. Just another liar who's just hating on the game and has no real reason to hate the game other than say bright colors equals game is bad.
This game is not good. It's not going to last. The fact that they want you to pay $50 for it. If it was free to play, I don't think it would even last then. But the fact that people want you to pay $50 for this, look at the graphics. Who made this game?
The graphics are great. Like when you're in the game, when you're not looking at it on this like low res YouTube video quality, when you're playing it on, you know, a powerful PC on the cranked settings, the graphics look amazing. The graphics are great. There's nothing wrong with the graphics.
Look at the graphics. Who, like, what are we doing here? And it just feels bad. Like, I mean, forget about anything else. Let me just try to stay on point here, okay?
Sorry, he has a point. Stay on point. Sorry, let me know when you get to that point, and then I'll know if you're staying on it or not.
I literally played it for 50 minutes. That's all I need. That's how fucking genius I am.
Or how much of an ignorant shithead you are and lying because you already made up your preconceptions about the game, and then just like Smash JT, you reaffirmed that negative bias and then just start hating on the game like everybody else, almost like you're in some kind of team or in a script and you've been told that you have to hate the game.
That's how I am, just tuned into what it is, man. Every game, I told you Battlefield 6 gonna die. It's dead. X-Defiant sucks. It's dead. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is definitely gonna save the franchise. Was right about that. That's sarcasm for all the retards out there. And I'm telling you right now, this game is bad. It's not gonna last.
I mean, if Ghost of Eight is saying that it's bad, it's got to be bad, right? He's saying it's bad, therefore it must be bad. Just look at all the bright colors. Clearly bad. It's like Call of Duty walked into that Crayola factory and it exploded all over the game, and now you've got this fucking epileptic seizure game. Now it's a bad game.
It's not gonna be like as bad as High Guard, which I also said was horrible. I didn't even play that game. I could just tell right away that game was horrible. Didn't even have to play it. That's how bad it was. I did try this game.
I mean, honestly, the game looked highly polished game. It just looked like DEI like trash. Like, so no one played it because we all just thought, oh, another DEI game, we're going to ignore that. Functionally, from its gameplay point of view, it didn't look that bad. The riding on the horseback shooting genuinely looked pretty cool, but it just looked like DEI disaster. So that's why people were turned off of the game.
I did play it. I lasted 15.
These people just can't even be honest that High Guard, outside of its DEI insertions, looked like a high quality game. Not a game that I wanted to play, but it didn't look like a bad game in terms of its just raw gameplay.
Minutes, which is about as long as I last with Fuli's mom, which is pretty amazing that I even get hard for that fat pig. But you know, hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and I quit.
We've got any more actual arguments from this guy?
Quit. It's bad. It's garbage. Horrible. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what I'm supposed to be shooting at, what a person is, where everyone is. You can't see anything.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what the fuck you're saying or what you're even talking about. Are you gay as well? I don't know what you're talking about. I can't understand what you're saying. You're not saying anything.
Just bad. Just bad. Trust me, just bad. Don't waste your money. Don't buy it.
Just trust me, bro. Literally is all he's saying. Just trust me, bro.
Don't listen to these loser streamers tell you it's good.
That's it. We're all losers, bro. We're all losers. I'm getting paid by Bungie, you know, and that's just how it is. Let's have a look at other people now. Here we got another YouTuber here, Griffin Gaming. I've not previously said this, previously watched this one. We're going to have a quick little look through this guy's opinion. But it's basically saying Bungie's Marathon is disgusting, live service smart.
Bungie and about Marathon Server Slam is officially upon us right before the game releases, and man, do I have some thoughts. First and foremost, bro, this game is boring. Like, I have never really gotten the appeal of the whole extraction shooter gameplay.
So why are you playing one then? Why are you playing one? If you don't understand it, you've already going in already. Like into a genre that you don't like. Why are you playing it then?
Personally, I've never really played Tarkov. I've never tried Arc Raiders. I've seen gameplay of both, and they've never really appealed to me in any way.
So why are you playing this one then? Why are you play? If they don't appeal to you, why are you playing this one? You already don't like the genre. You're already entering in the game with a negative bias already because you don't like the genre. Why have you picked this game to play to be in the genre that you don't want to play because you don't like the look of it? So why are you
shape or form? But Marathon is a different type of visual vomit that genuinely just is repulsive to look at, bro. Take those games, make them even more clunky, and you have Marathon. I really don't understand what the appeal is that they were going for with this particular game, especially coming from Bungie of all people. Like, Bungie used to give us...
I don't understand. What does it mean by appeal? Why does an art style have to appeal to anybody? Like, the art style is the art style. They wanted to create this game set in a cybernetic setting, and they've literally pinpointed certain types of imagery and art that accentuate this android, synthetic, cybernetic future, and they're just dialing into a specific type of art style that encapsulate that idea, that feeling of being in this cybertech android non-human world, and everything works perfectly in line with that aesthetic. It's not trying to appeal to anybody, it's just being what it is, and you're just not taking it for what it is. You're expecting a grey brown military slop simulator that you usually get. It's not trying to appeal to you with an art style. It's trying to create a game with a unique setting, with a unique art style that matches the setting, and for people to judge it based on its own individual merits, which people for some reason have forgotten. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, apparently, aesthetics are supposed to appeal to people, as in you're basically calling for, make games the way that we want games to look for. Don't make games as art. We want you to make corporate slop. Like, listen, that's the argument you're making. It's literally got a video titled here called Bungie's Marathon is Live Service Slop, and it's literally asking for corporations, can you make more slop that appeals to what we like, which is our grey-brown military simulators? Can you make more slop that we do like? That's what he's actually asking for. He's asking for slop, whilst ragging on a game that isn't trying to be slop. It's trying to not be slop, and these guys are calling it slop, and they're actually asking for more slop. Can you keep giving us more of the same that we always have, that we always buy? You know, the grey-brown simulator, military simulators that we always keep buying. We want more of those. That's what appeals to us. Keep doing what we find appealing, which is those things. Don't do anything different, because if we do, we'll call it corporate slop. If you try and do anything outside of you know, public opinion of appealing to us, he's literally asking for corporate slop by saying this statement.
It's a story-rich campaign that used to give us a dedicated classic multiplayer experience, as well as a third mode like you would find in Marathon. Instead, the only thing that's releasing here is the extraction shooter game mode, which to me was just genuinely miserable to play from start to finish. Now, I
no experience with previous extraction shooters, generally dislike extraction shooters from the outright before going into the game. So not surprising that people who have negative perception about the genre already decided they don't like it, to then go into that genre and then just reconfirming their bias that they've already preconceived.
Successfully extracted 3 times while playing this game, and in all 3 instances I did not encounter a singular enemy player whatsoever. I killed a bunch of
Well, welcome to extraction genres. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that there might not be some issues with actually getting PvP engagement in the game, but I'm not entirely certain why PvP tends to not happen as frequently as it does in other games. I know that Bungie came out and said the reason why there's not a lot of PvP going is because people are dying to the AI, which I'm assuming will lessen over time when people realize that AI is a threat and people have to adapt and fight around that AI. You will then start to have more PvP encounters because people will start dying to AI less. So I think this will be an issue over time, and if it is an issue that persists, I'm sure balance changes with the AI would change in order to facilitate better PvP. It's not an unfixable thing of the game that's going to hurt the game. Yeah, there might be some issues with PvP interactions. I found that on the first day that I briefly played, not a lot of PvP interactions. I noticed in the closed beta there wasn't a huge amount of PvP interactions. I had quite a few here and there, but not consistent. But I did find on the day that I played, on the second or third day, the one day that I played fully of the service land, I was running into PvP encounters on a regular basis. So I feel like people have adapted and things had changed from when I previously played prior. So I don't completely agree that there is necessarily a PvP not happening problem. I think there's people getting used to the game issue, and then this issue will become less of an issue as time goes on.
PCs, but no enemy players whatsoever. I mean, you're kind of just wandering around aimlessly, opening up boxes, picking up items, hitting inventory capacity way too fucking fast.
Oh, you mean an extraction shooter? Right, got it. That's the genre. Yep. You're just identifying all of the common traits of an extraction shooter. Yep. That's a reason to hate on the genre.
And the game just is...
I just fucking hate first-person shooters. You know what I hate about first-person shooters most? The first-person part. Fucking hate them.
It's generally not fun, man. I don't know. I think that's probably the biggest sin that you could say for a video game, because there's plenty of bad games that I've...
Are people just sharing their scripts? Is Smash JT shared his script with this dude, or vice versa?
Played that were actually fun. Code Violet, for example, absolutely terrible game, still fun as hell to play because of how bad it was, because ironically it was enjoyable to play through. Marathon, on the other
hand,
just feels clunky, boring, and
it doesn't feel clunky. This is a complete lie. There's no clunkiness about it. It might look clunky because of the blockiness, but it absolutely isn't clunky. Do you know what's fucking clunky? Tarkov. Tarkov's fucking clunky. You're talking about an extraction shooter that's clunky. Fucking don't look no further than the king of extraction shooters, Tarkov. That's fucking clunky. Bro, super clunkers.
Like a chore simulator. Like you're just opening
Fucking Tarkov all over in it. The biggest, the best, maybe not the biggest, Arc Raiders has probably got that title now, but was the biggest and the king of the extraction shooter was Tarkov, and it is super clunky and super running into all the problems that he's talking about here with inventory and whatnot.
boxes for the sake of opening boxes to pick up arbitrary loot, to shoot NPC enemies that barely
Welcome to extraction shooters. Holy shit, the guy's literally hating on an extraction shooter for being an extraction shooter.
pose a threat whatsoever.
Why are you talking again? Like, I'm with Peanut on this one. Of me, of all people, I'm on Peanut's side, saying, why don't you guys just shut up? Why are you talking when you don't have valid opinion? Yes, you have the right to have an opinion, you have the right to put it out there, but as the other dude, Artreus, was saying, you know, being obligated, like, should I be obligated to love a game or hate a game? No, but you probably should be obligated to tell the truth, be honest, and don't be a shallow, ignorant dickhead. And unfortunately, people just want to keep spreading about these lies about the game and disingenuous nonsense. You got no arguments, bro. None of you have got arguments.
With ambiguous tasks scattered across the map that no one knows how to fucking do, and
You mean the random quests that come up, like call down a supply drop and wait for it to happen, and it makes a noise, and that is it to attract people to the area. I mean, loads of games have that. Battle royales and other extraction shooters have those mechanics in them. Everybody understands them perfectly well. You're talking you don't understand them, and because you don't understand them, you're now attributing it to a we, so you can try and put your mentality onto other people, so you can feel like a lot of people think this way. No, it's not a lot of people, just you. You don't play extraction shooters, remember? You've already admitted that you don't play extraction shooters. So now that you don't understand mechanics of extraction shooters, you're going to use it against the game, but then apply a we don't understand it, as if there's many people when it's just you.
and I don't have the care to invest enough time in to figure out, because
Don't play the game and don't make videos about it because you don't care about the game and don't have time to do it. Why are you making videos about it? You got the time to make videos about the games that you don't want to play and don't have time to play, but you don't have time to play the game. I don't understand this contradictory behavior. You don't have the time or the care to play the game, but you do to put out a video, which in my opinion requires a bit more effort with the recording and the editing. I don't even want to make this video because I don't want to record it and I don't want to edit it. But this guy has no problem putting in the effort and the time to make this video about a game he doesn't have time or care to play. It doesn't really make sense. It's almost like he got an ulterior motive.
the gameplay loop here is not fun. The only thing that's on your mind when you're playing Marathon is this shit over yet? Like, can we just go ahead and extract? Like, why are we even doing this?
You don't like the game. Fair enough, you don't like the game. Do you have to make a video about you just not liking the game? Like, is there valid criticism anywhere in this video? No, it's bright colors, UI bad. Same as everybody else. No one, not one person yet has a single valid argument at all. Of everyone that we've looked at, everyone said the same thing. Bright colors equals bad UI equals bad game. Looks like Roblox. There you go. That's it. That's everyone's argument in a nutshell.
It feels incredibly pointless, incredibly unfun, and I genuinely...
These are all just claims that are subjective. He doesn't play extraction shooters.
would not recommend this to anybody. I mean, honestly, probably just from looking at it, you probably figured out that this game was or was not for you, and personally, this shit is definitely not for me. Now, when it comes to the gameplay, you have a mixture of advanced movement as well as a very clunky, cumbersome feel that, you know, Bungie typically...
It doesn't have the cumbersome, clunky feel at all. This is a complete lie that he's putting out here.
Doesn't have in their video games. You know, even with classic Halo, when there wasn't a sprint, you still felt like you were moving fairly quickly through the environment. In Destiny, you definitely had a lot of advanced movement techniques in order to make sure...
Does he know that you sprint faster with a knife out? Just saying, does he know that? Has he just been running around everywhere with his gun out? you sprint faster with a knife out, bro.
Traversal through the environment, much more fast-paced. And in Marathon, you do have similar abilities. Like, you can jump and dash, which does allow you to travel short distances fairly quickly, but the sprint system is based on a fucking temperature cooldown that requires you to wait about 2 to 3 times as long as you were just sprinting in order for it to cool down.
Only if you actually get overheated, right? Only if you get overheated is that true. So if you're sprinting, don't do the dash, don't do the slide. The slide uses up too much heat to be effectively used for the purpose of traversing the map. You just run with your knife out. The build up is actually genuinely pretty decent and quite efficient if you're just running with your knife out. And then when it gets to the top, before it goes to overheat, just go into walk and then it will go down and then you can run again. But if you go into overheat, yeah, you'll be waiting quite a long time for that to go back down. So this guy's basically just saying, I'm bad at the game, so therefore the game is bad because I'm bad at the game.
Genuinely fucking sucks. On top of that, there's fall damage while traversing.
Look, it's already started going down. Like, you waited a couple of, like, literally a second or two, and it already started to go down.
The environment, because apparently,
and already like nearly halfway to the end of the overheat. You could sprint again for a little bit more if you needed to right now.
Futuristic sci-fi motherfuckers who are traversing space still have to worry about snapping their ankle.
Like, you can start running now, bro. Like, you've decreased a lot of your stamina there. You can keep running. Like, this is not unrealistic to run now that you've recovered a bit of stamina.
When they fall, even though they have thrusters and advanced
he's running with his gun out.
Movement systems in their suit.
He's running with the gun out, bros. He doesn't know that knives make you run faster.
Make that make sense. Now, when it comes to inventory management, that's basically the name of the game. The entire point of the game is to go around, pick up a bunch of random shit from crates, put it in your inventory, and take it back as you extract in order to get money. Spend that money on gear, upgrades, ammunition, and do it all over again. Rinse and repeat. Now,
that's an extraction shooter.
I'm guessing there's supposed to be some sort of story here because they kind of allude to the fact that, like, the Marathon colonial ship is lost in this galaxy and they lost contact, and you're trying to basically fight against the evil EUSC corporation, and it really sucks, bro. Like, I don't know why they didn't do a dedicated campaign for this, because it would have really given people a chance to actually give a fuck about what's happening in the world.
It's called Marathon 1, 2, and Infinite. It's called the original Marathon games, isn't it, bro? If you want some fucking lore, go play those games. Play an extraction shooter. We don't particularly care about the fucking story, bro. Like, you just need a vague thing that creates the setting for the game and then let people kill each other. That's basically all you need. This is a non-argument. You don't need high story. You just need a decent world with some bit of lore. Hunt Showdown shows that you don't need a campaign, you don't need a story. You can just have a very well told side stories around the world that you've created. You don't necessarily need a campaign, you don't necessarily need a story. Everything operates within the setting, it's fine. You don't need a story or a campaign.
Around them instead, you're basically dropped into this visual vomit. World design.
Visual vomit. I've got to keep playing that. It's just an opinion. You don't like bright colours because bright colours equals gay. Therefore, it must be a bad game because has bright colours, therefore gay. That's the logic that everyone's using here. Everyone's just saying, I'm ignorant, and you can't have games that are full of bright colours, literally saying what we want is generic brown grey military slop and edgelord games from now to the end of time. If you have any colour in the game, you must hate the game. Colour is not allowed, ever, under any circumstance.
That genuinely just looks terrible, bro. Like, I understand kind of the aesthetic they were going for when it comes to Marathon, but I don't really think they did a good job with it in terms of just eye appeal. Now, if they're going for a super dystopian
eye appeal, like, what is that? Does it even make sense?
Almost psychedelic, vomit-inducing aesthetic, then I guess they absolutely nailed it. But when it comes to me, I really do not like the way that this game looks.
Fine, but is it really enough for you to make a whole video shitting on the game to everybody else because you don't like the way it looks?
Environment looks like it's made of plastic. Everything.
Yes, that's probably the vibe that we're going for, because plastic is synthetic, right? That's the look they're going for. Everything looks synthetic. Everything looks not human. That's the look they're going for. Like, you're all androids. You're not human. You're in a synthetic world of synthetic people, and therefore the design of everything is made to look synthetic. That's the art style. literally
thing
like
looks super bright and neon unnecessarily. It just is, it's ugly. I don't know how else to put it. It's like clean,
it's not ugly.
but ugly at the same time. There's something very, very unnerving about the way this.
Yes, by design, exactly the point. That's why I call it synthetic disturbia or like synthetic horror. It's made to make you feel uneasy because it's not natural, it's not human. It goes against everything that you would consider to be human, and that's probably why people think that it's naturally revolting, because it opposes them on a biological level. It's literally anti-human, but that's the aesthetic it's going for. That's the premise of the entire game. You know, you're basically saying everything must be limited into this sphere of aesthetics, and if it doesn't, it's a bad game. Like, it's going for that exact thing that you're describing in its art form. That's why it's doing it like that. You can't do it any other way other than appealing to what the setting requires it to be.
Game looks, and maybe that's what they were going for, the whole sci-fi
is.
dystopian look where everything looks bright, colorful, and clean, but in reality it's actually rotten and evil at its core. You know, we've seen that theme 100 times before, like with
It's not really quite what the theme is that they're trying to go for, but okay.
you know, Blade Runner, for example, with all the bright neon lights, but when you get beyond those, it's scummy, disgusting, and run down, and you genuinely wouldn't want to live there, but from the outside looking in, it looks impressive and futuristic. So again, maybe they're going for kind of like that dystopian look, but I don't really see myself wanting to whip around in this super bright neon colored environment constantly for
Fine, but do you need a 14-minute video on YouTube saying that that's the reason?
an extended period of time. I genuinely did not enjoy the gameplay loop of this game whatsoever. You know, opening boxes.
But he already decided that he doesn't like the idea of extraction shooters before going into the extraction shooter, so there's no surprise that he confirmed his already preconceived bias towards the genre. Why are you making a video telling us about your confirmation bias and that you don't like the art style?
Wears out its welcome very quick.
Literally, I'm with Pino here. Why don't you all just shut up? Like, I don't understand why you think everyone needs to hear your nothing burger argument.
It has this very annoying mechanic where everything in the box doesn't appear immediately. You have to wait for each individual item to load in before you can pick it up, because that fucking makes sense for some reason. On top,
Yeah, because you're in a vulnerable situation, and while you're looting, players could come and it creates tension because you're like, give me the loot, give me the loot, give me the loot, quick, get the loot, I don't know, people are coming, it creates tension. That's part of the gameplay. This guy, like, is he
top of that, your inventory space is incredibly limited. You will max out your inventory in the first few minutes, and then you're stuck playing inventory management for the
Welcome to extraction shooters.
rest of the, I guess, extraction round. Now, let's actually talk about the extraction mechanic. So, extraction points will appear across the map. You'll go place down the beacon and wait there for about 30 seconds to a minute for the beacon to activate, and it...
Right, well, yeah, we get it. Like, he doesn't really have any actual arguments, really, so let's just find some more videos of other one more random person. We've got another dude here. Marathon is an absolute dumpster fire and is generally one of the worst games I've ever played. Nero Cinema has got nearly 700,000 subscribers here. Let's check this dude out.
The game is free, and I still feel like I want my freaking money back, man. It is really that bad. It's blowing up all over social media right now. My entire feed.
What's he saying?
is just
What's he
people who
saying?
just can't believe how terrible this game actually is. I mean, the people that
Right.
played it previously, they
I've not
know
heard
how
any
it's still
arguments
pretty
why
much
it's
as
bad,
bad as it
but okay.
was back then, back when it got indefinite.
I'm still waiting to hear arguments why this game's bad, by the way. So, you know, apparently it's all over social media. Everyone's saying how much they hate the game, but I'm yet to hear one valid opinion of why the game is bad about the actual gameplay of the game itself.
Delayed, and then you have newer players like myself looking at it like, really? This was the game that people were excited about? This was the game that's supposed to kill arc raiders? This was supposed to be the hot new shooter on the market and everything? Like, I genuinely don't understand, and the only real positive feedback I've seen so far are from people with sponsor deals, because of course they can't say anything negative, or people who just love Bungie in general, like those...
I don't like, I have no affinity towards Bungie, and I'm not being paid by Bungie, so, you know,
super fans, so
Not true.
stands, if you will. They're kind of like, if you think about it, they're kind of like Bethesda fans, you know what I mean? Like, I love Fallout as much as anybody out there, trust me, but when Fallout 76 first came out, I was like, oh no, what did they do here? But even then, you know, diehard Bethesda fans still support the game no matter what, because they love Bethesda, they love Fallout.
Yeah, all three of them.
They're basically just like super fans, right? So, and I think the same thing right now might actually be happening with Marathon. You might be...
No way. We're not in Bethesda territory, man. We're not like Bethesda where they basically got this dead body, this corpse of a game, and then you just keep like Weekend at Bernie's, like dressing up the game with different skins, trying to make out that it's a new game. When we all know it's the same fucking Gamebryo engine, the same fucking AI, the same script, and the same shit we've seen. It's that same corpse of a body. You're just parading around everywhere, trying to make out that it's a new game. We all know the Bethesda engine jank going all the way back to Morrowind, when it was called, was it the NetEase engine? Maybe I'm getting that wrong, I forget what it was called. But it was basically one engine, and then they updated it a little bit, and then they called it the Gamebryo engine, and then they updated it a little bit, and they called it the Creation engine. Every time trying to make out that it was a new engine, but it was just the same dead body, the same shitty engine with all of its problems and quirks. And every time you go and get a Bethesda game, you know exactly what's going to happen. Broken quest lines, same jank that you've had in a million games, and that's the reason why Bethesda gets paid. This isn't a Bethesda level thing going on here at all.
Asking yourself, well, what's so bad about it, right? I mean, you're watching the gameplay here. You can probably pick up on a couple of things here, but what specifically is wrong with Marathon? And I'm super glad you asked, dear viewer. I am super glad you asked, because I have an entire laundry list of reasons why I honestly don't see this game lasting an entire month, and why...
Holy shit, he's got reasons. Does he have actual reasons?
It will probably go down in history as the next Concord. So it
Let's
all
go.
starts right from the moment you boot up the game. You're met with a 3-minute long cutscene where they try to do some world building. I will give them that. They tried to explain the story, the narrative a little bit of world building here, but it honestly feels like you're going on an acid trip, and once it's all said and done.
Okay, so problem number one has a cutscene that makes you feel like you're on acid. Bad game. Okay.
All 3 minutes of it, you basically learn that you're a brain in a jar or something like that. You have your consciousness placed into these runners, and then you finally get to go into the tutorial. I guess this is kind of their way of explaining how when you die, it doesn't actually hurt you. It's like your conscious being put into what is essentially a fake body, you know, like a Fallout-style synth, if you will. Well, here we are on some abandoned human colony out in the galaxy somewhere, and now the game is trying to teach us the basics of Marathon, right?
Okay, so we had a laundry list of things wrong with the game, and he's listed so far just one, and that is the cutscene's like you're on acid and the story is really weird. Okay.
It's like running and looting and things of that nature, and this is where the absolute dumpster fire that is this game really starts to show itself, because quite obviously the field of view here is pretty darn low. If you're like me, it kind of makes you a bit nauseous, a bit...
You can turn the FOV up to about 109, which is typical of a game. I think Hunt Showdown goes to 110. It's only a little bit less than that. Does he know that there's an FOV slider? If you have that on console, maybe console is limited, but there is an option on PC to increase the FOV. I assume it's there on the console as well. So user error here.
Motion sick, like who likes...
So first reason is cutscene bad, acid trip bad, and then second reason is user error.
Field of view like this anymore, right? So I obviously wanted to change it, and I'm not even joking here, guys. I genuinely thought I was having a stroke trying to figure this out. I thought I was temporarily handicapped trying to navigate these menus with a controller, so I switched to keyboard and mouse partway through, and it didn't make it any better. And honestly,
the dude's playing on PC and he's playing an extraction shooter on a controller. Okay. And then had a problem. So it's on PC, so it is user error. You can increase the FOV.
Those things you guys just have to see to believe. It's really that bad.
Not that bad. What? Settings. Yeah. Yeah. Gameplay, controller, video. Right. And then you got what? I don't think FOV is there. Oh yeah, field of view there, 90. So you can see it. Right there, field of view. There's your field of view option right there. So he's obviously just encountered some kind of bug, probably for the fact that his controller's plugged in at the same time and he's probably detecting the controller 1 second and the keyboard. This is a thing that can happen in many games, even big AAA games. Yeah, it's annoying, but is that a reason to hate the game? Just unplug the keyboard, unplug the controller. I mean, I had my controller plugged in and I never ran into this issue, so this is a specific thing that only happened to him. I mean, he could just be making this up, right? He could just be doing something to make this happen, to make it look bad, but I never had any of these issues, so this is a completely unique thing that happened to him only. Don't know if that's really enough reason to hate on the game, because we don't know the reasons why this is happening.
Guys, that was rough, right? But if you thought that was painful, you have not seen anything.
105 maximum FOV. Look, 5 less than Hunt Showdown, but still, it's reasonably.
Yeah, the menus and the user interface of this game are some of the most confusing.
So because he had a bug, it's now the most confusing and weird. He had no problem navigating the UI, going to the settings, going to video options, finding the field of view option, and then having some kind of problem with his controller prompt showing up when he was using keyboard and mouse and it janked out his menu, which never happened to me, and I've not heard it happen to anybody else. But despite that, he was able to navigate the menus perfectly fine. But because of this bug, he's now going to say the UI's got problems, when that's not a UI problem. You got some kind of input bug going on there.
And convoluted menus I have ever seen in a video.
Not convoluted enough for you to be able to find the option that you wanted and change it, despite the fact that there was an input bug, but that's a different issue.
Game. Not only does it feel like we're looking at a pre-alpha build of a game from 2011, but nothing
does it though?
Here is user-friendly or easy to understand. If you want to talk about an easy onboarding experience for new players, something that's readable, streamlined, and intuitive to understand, well, keep looking, because this is the exact freaking opposite of that. Even something as simple as shielding and healing in this game is an exercise in frustration. You have health items, shield items, EMP debuff items, status effect debuff items for things like gas and smoke and all sorts.
You have many of these things in other games as well. You have like heals, med heals, shields, and all these other stuff in other games as well. Why is Marathon getting this treatment that these things are negatives to this game?
Some other things, and they literally all look the same. It's almost like the devs understood that their system is needlessly over encumbered, because by default they.
Yeah, okay, maybe there's some like issues where on a glance things don't look unique enough to stand out at a glance to know, but once you know, they do. But yeah, sure, I can understand that. Yeah, it doesn't look, but is that enough reason to just hate on the game because some icons look a little bit too similar? Like, these things can be changed. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Enable something called a smart heal, where you just press the button 4 on your keyboard, and I'm sure it would be on a controller. God help you if you try playing this game with a controller. But you press that button and it automatically heals what needs the most healing, right? Whether it's your health or your shield or whatever. If you have a status effect, it might try to apply that, so long as you actually have the necessary items in your inventory. Though again, they all look the same and it's needlessly confusing. Though the thing about
exaggeration, but okay.
Shields, as you probably won't have to worry about that one because they're pretty much non-existent in this game. Bungie, the people that made shield charging and everything, don't even really have shields here within Marathon. I have looked all over for them. I've looked high and low, far and wide. I do not understand how you find a shield in this game besides randomly getting one off an enemy player, or maybe finding one in a box somewhere as you're exploring the map. Like, that's
buying them from a vendor.
Pretty much it. I've heard maybe it's in one of the 6 different factions that you have here, but you can increase your reputation with these factions and they give you different items you can buy from them. It might be in there. I have no idea. The game doesn't tell you anything.
Oh, sorry, you need to be handheld everywhere. Like, why is this an argument? Because you don't understand something. Like, people understand, like, if they exist in the game, you're either going to get it from drops within the game world, or you're going to buy it from a vendor. That's what people are going to naturally understand about the game. If those shields exist and you can go for more than one, then you're going to get those add-ons from somewhere, and those add-ons are going to be either in loot or from a vendor, and most likely both.
Thing is needlessly confusing here at the Marathon.
There's nothing confusing about it, you're just dumb.
And so basically you're left in a situation where if you go out and you die with your tutorial shield that you got like while you were learning the game, you basically just don't have a shield anymore really whatsoever. And just to put that into context, imagine there are free kits in this game from these different factions that are available.
You always have one shield by default. Like, you have one shield by default. Like, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember getting the +1 shield in the tutorial, maybe you did. Like, but even if you lose it, you're only like down one shield. You can just, eventually acquire a +1 shield or whatever later. But you do have a base 1 shield block, as you can see in this gameplay here in the bottom left. That's your default. You have one shield by default.
Right? So just imagine a scenario where you take a free kit in Arc Raiders and it doesn't even bother to give you a shield. And that's pretty much what we have with all kits here within Marathon. It's really freaking bad. Then from there, the gameplay is just as bare bones and plain as it can possibly be. I do see some people out there saying, and
What do you mean by bare bones? What do you mean by bare bones? I mean, it's a shooter.
The few positive things I've actually seen is people say that the gunplay feels pretty good, and I think that's because we're just using Roblox Borderlands style weapons pretty much, right? I mean, the guns look unique, if not a bit cartoony, and again, pretty Robloxy, but on top of that, none of them have recoil, and pretty much everything in the game is an absolute laser beam. So obviously...
So what? But the gunplay still feels good to play, right? So that's the gameplay.
The weapons are going to feel relatively decent. It's basically babies for a shooter game. After that, we have...
Come on, like, this is just derogatory now.
The art style, and of course, art style and preference.
So that's it, the gameplay's over, so he feels the gameplay is bare bones. Other people are saying that the gunplay is good. He doesn't disagree with that statement. Now we're off of gameplay, now we're on to aesthetics, so now we're on looks. So again, I've not heard any actual valid arguments yet in terms of the actual gameplay of the game.
Is always going to be subjective, and I will definitely give them points for actually having an art style as compared to just making their game look like everybody else's.
Okay, fair enough, okay, good.
But I can't get over just how cartoony, how foggy, and how neon looking everything is in this game, man. Like, it's unique for
So it's just another dude who just doesn't like bright colors because bright colors equals gay. So it's just another one of these dudes. Like, okay, fine, you can dislike the art style, you don't like bright colors, but why are you making videos hating on a game because you don't like bright lights, like you're a gremlin or some shit?
Sure, compared to a lot of the other games that have come out recently, but I can't help but feel like I'm playing a Roblox mod more than
Is it just the code word? Oh, it looks like Roblox. I can't play it because it looks like Roblox. Incapable of playing the game if it looks like Roblox. It has to look like grey-brown generic military shooter. And then if we complain about games being generic grey-brown military shooters, and then we get a game that's not that, we then complain that it's not the thing that we're complaining about. Doesn't everybody complain that Call of Duty and Battlefield are generic and played out and we want new things, and then new things come out, and then people are basically saying, well, I don't like it, it's too bright and colourful. Well, either you want your grey-brown slop, or you want something more colourful. Or you see, you either want it black and white, grey-brown slop, or colourful. And if it's too colourful, no, that's gay. You can't do that. Everything's got to be grim, realistic looking. If it's not grim, edgelord, realistic looking, then it's gay, and then it's a bad game because of that. That's basically what everyone's saying, is like, you have to be here in the grey-brown realm, and everything has to be grey-brown, because if you go out of the grey-brown box, you're gay.
Playing an extraction shooter that came out in 2026. The AI enemies, I will say, are actually a pretty decent challenge. Some of them are just downright easy. You can just take them out like they're nothing. The other ones could definitely be a pretty solid threat. It seems to be like different rarities and different tiers of enemies as well, like blue ones, purple ones, gold ones. Like, they can actually be pretty difficult, and they can kill you if you're not paying attention, but that's mostly just really true if you're free kidding, because you have no shield, virtually no ammo,
Like, I'm not trying to say that everyone should be forced to like colourful games and colourful or unique art styles or whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you have to think like me. I'm just saying that, do you really need to voice your opinion across the internet and shit on a game because you just think it's too colourful? Do you need a 16-minute video, like, you know, telling people that you don't like the game looks like Roblox? Do we need another dude to say this? Like, what does it add to the argument? Does it make the game better? Like, are you just going to move people away from the game that might have played the game, but because everybody hates the game, creates a negative perception about the game, and people that would have liked the game now won't like the game because everybody that doesn't like Roblox saying they hate the game, and since they have the minds captured of the majority, those people will be influenced by these people because they don't like the fact that it looks like Roblox, and then you'll eventually get a bunch of people that would have played the game who won't play the game, so it just hurts the player base of the game for no good reason, just because you don't like the fact that it looks like Roblox.
Virtually no healing and virtually no way of getting anything on the map outside of trying to take on enemy players. And I've got to say, the maps themselves, while they are unique looking, they're dead, man. They're just empty. It's almost like you're in the back rooms. It's like a liminal space I'm walking through.
Again, this is a dude who doesn't like extraction shooters, right? Who hasn't played extraction shooters. Just like Smash JT, sometimes you run around the map and nothing happens. Sorry, that's just part of the genre, unfortunately. you run around, things don't happen.
Like a fever dream, like I'm on a bad acid trip or something like that. And to talk about PvP here for a second, player battles do go by pretty damn quickly because, again, nobody really has shields, or if you are the kind of person that does have a shield somehow, you pretty much just win any engagement you get into because all the weapons are laser beams. You don't usually find too many other players on the map as well. The most we have run into are 2 separate teams in one particular match. That's really it. Other than that, you're just fighting AI. Although this match right here was really weird because we spawned in, we basically pinged the nearest POI, and then immediately we ran into another team. I did hear them coming. The audio is actually pretty good in this game. I will give them that. I kind of heard them coming, but I wasn't quite sure if they were like running up the hill or if they were just...
Yeah, the good audio won't last long until all the no footsteppers come in.
Running down the water, but before I knew it, 3 people were right there in my face. We're getting this big gunfight and everything, and because one of them tried to thirst me, I ended up bleeding out pretty quickly, and our random player here, which I'll talk about that here in a moment, our random apparently couldn't figure out the keybind to revive, but even after I died, apparently even after you die here in Marathon, if your teammates survive, they can just walk up and bring you back, apparently, because my buddy was able to resurrect me back to life, and I'm not sure, man. That could have been the character he's playing, or the shell, as they're known in the game, but again, nothing.
Yeah, thinking about it, I feel like maybe that's a new thing that they added. I'm pretty sure in the closed beta, when you got killed, you couldn't get revived, and that was it. You were basically dead. Then they added that in there. I think it's fine.
About this game is telegraphed, and everything is as difficult to understand as humanly possible. Take your loadouts once again here, for example, right? There really isn't much looting to do in this game, as every drawer has pretty much nothing but random garbage in it, but every now and then you're going to find a couple of things that say salvage on them, and the idea seems to be you salvage these to certain factions, and that builds your reputation with those factions, which unlocks more things for you to buy, more rewards, things like that. We've seen that kind of stuff in video games for years now, right? Well, how in the world, I'm sure there's a way, but if you guys could explain to me, explain like I'm 5, how do you salvage in this game? There's no option right here in the vault. There's no option in my loadout. There's no option in the armory. Like, what do I do to actually salvage these things? Is it not?
There's an exchange function in the vendor. I think there is an actual exchange. You can exchange items for other items, I believe, and that's probably that. Like, there'll be a way to figure it out. I've not come across this salvage stuff, so I've not had the joys of figuring it out, but I'm sure it's probably not that complicated and you can probably easily figure it out. I know that there is an exchange items for items thing in the vendor, and it's probably related to that in some way.
Not in the game right now? Is it just not part of the server slam? I really don't know, but just like anything else here in Marathon, nothing.
Or maybe it's just a case of literally just selling it to the faction that wants it to get you the most money and reputation for it. It was something like that. It won't be nothing. Well, you can see here you got the barter wares bit. That's what I'm talking about. But if there's no general option to exchange, then it probably just comes down to just selling it, and it probably either auto sells to the vendor, or or something to that extent. If it's not around here or anything like that, then it'll just be like that. If it's not automatically sold, then selling it probably sells it to that vendor by automatically, or there'll be some way on here to do it. Like, and that'll be it. There's not going to be some hidden out of the way thing. It'll be one of those types of things that'll be happening.
Is telegraphed and everything is confusing. There is the option to sell the item, but that probably means you can't salvage it, right? I mean, they're probably 2 completely separate things here. And then you have the character himself, man. Like, you have your...
Unless salvaging is something that you unlock at a later state, and until you've unlocked the salvage thing, you just sell the thing. I don't know. I don't think it's very that important. It's something that you'll figure out as time goes on, and there's nothing to hate on a game just for that reason alone.
Equipment, which is for things like ammo crates and grenades and things like that. You then have a shield, if you're lucky enough to find one of those things, and then you have 2 cores and 3 implants, all of which change things about your character, give you certain buffs or certain debuffs or whatever, and they all look alike. They're all the same color, yet they all do different things. It's needlessly confusing. Like, if you're...
It's true, they all do look the same, and you can't tell at a glance without actually reading the description. It's a fair criticism, but again, not enough to hate on the game and say it's the worst game that I've ever played, when all these things are literally fixable and isn't actually that big of an issue.
Actually looting a body in this game, you're going to spend so much time staring at every individual item, because every item in this game is like looking at a new gen Magic the Gathering card where everything has to be 2 paragraphs long, like how is that supposed to work? And was
I mean, this is just par for the course for like RPGs and extraction shooters in general. I mean, you read the descriptions of what items do.
Supposed to be a fast-paced PvP first, PvE second extraction shooter. I really don't understand what they were going for here, and I think that's one of the biggest.
Again, he doesn't play extraction shooters and generally dislikes the genre, and he's gone in with that dislike of the genre into playing this particular game for whatever reason. and then proceeds to hate on the game.
That Marathon commits is it makes the player feel like they're fucking stupid. Everything in this game is overthought yet underdeveloped. It's not intuitive, it's not user-friendly. Freaking duos does not exist in the game. Remember that random who couldn't figure out how to revive me? Well, the only reason why he was there is because you can't play duos in this game. You can play solo or you can play trios. You can go in.
You can play duos, but obviously being a trios game.
With only 2 people by turning squad fill off, but then it's just you and your one friend trying to take on full parties of 3, which obviously puts you at a huge disadvantage. And
not a huge disadvantage because the time to kill is pretty low, so it allows for outplays against multiple opponents with better skill, which is the same in like other games. Like when you play a solo in Hunt Showdown, you're going up against duos. There's no solo traditional hunt bounty mode in Hunt Showdown, but because the TTK is pretty low, you can outplay 2 people. So there's no reason why 2 people can't outplay 3 people. Like, it's perfectly reasonable and doable to do, not a reason to hate on the game.
even after all of that, even if you can get over everything I discussed here in this video, even if you finally understand the UI, even if you finally figure out the implants and the cores, the different healing types and the armor types, the shells, the ultimate abilities and the minor abilities, and everything else, even after you get through all of that,
learning the game, playing the game, doing the game, what you do in other games. But apparently here, doing the thing that you do in other games, in this particular game, that's a bad thing to do. So you can't do that here. It only applies to better games in this game because
you're then left playing a bare bones PvP game that basically has the time to kill.
What is bare bones about it? Please tell me you've said bare bones previously and you haven't expanded upon what's bare bones about it. What is bare bones about the game?
Modern Warfare 2019. Like, you go through all of that, you do everything I just talked about, you finally get kitted out and combine the right implants with the right cores and have the right guns with the right attachments and the right ammo types and all that stuff. You finally do everything just for you to kill and to be killed in what feels like milliseconds, which basically means that...
Welcome to an extraction shooter. You're telling me that you can go out of all the best gear. You could spend 20 minutes in Tarkov fucking loading up into a fucking raid, getting all the best helmets, the best gear, the best every single thing in the world, and you roll straight into it, and within you could be in a raid for 20 minutes, you could be in a raid for 10 seconds. You go into a raid for 10 seconds and some dude with a Makarov who's probably cheating aimbots you in the face and one taps you out of the game with all the best gear that you had in the world. Yeah, that can happen in Tarkov. Yeah, that can happen in Tarkov. You ain't complaining about that, but again, you don't play extraction shooters, so you don't know that this is just the nature of the beast. You can spend 15-20 minutes loading up your character to immediately die as soon as you enter into the game. That's just the game style. Deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
All that convoluted bullshit you just went through means absolutely nothing. It doesn't actually mean anything. It's like doing advanced calculus just to die to somebody who's still in 4th grade math. It's the simplest game in the world in terms of combat. It's like Call of Duty, yet easier somehow. There's less recoil, if you guys can actually believe.
Why is this a bad thing? There is recoil in the weapons. I don't know why he's coming with this there's no recoil thing. Sure, the recoil might be subdued a little bit, but there's still recoil there, man. Like, what's the problem? I don't understand how this is a valid criticism against the game. Why do you need lots of recoil in the game? Like, Call of Duty isn't exactly known for its serious fucking recoil. Tarkov, on the other hand, now you got some issues of recoil in that game for sure.
And pretty much all the extra stuff just feels pointless, but you don't have to take my word for it. Take a look at a few of the clips I saw today after I played a bunch, which proves that tons of other people feel the exact same way I do.
So there, other people think like me, therefore it must be true. Look, he's doing that other thing the other dude did. Look, Ninja doesn't like it. So now we've got Nick Merckx. Nick Merckx also doesn't like it. So I must be right because Nick Merckx agrees with me.
Something, it doesn't tell you where it goes. ADD.
Yeah. Dude. This shit's fucking horrible.
2 more games and I'm on Arc.
Guys, please, for the love of God, can you guys release games that look like you actually work on it?
It's really stupid.
Can you release a game that it looks like you even go through the main menu to play it? Hey, there's no...
From my understanding here, I've not got the Summit 1G clip, but I think he got mad because he had like an input bug as well. Like his controller wasn't plugged in, or because his controller wasn't plugged in, he had to plug his controller in. Basically, he had an input bug as well, and that sent him off on a spiral of that he was on right here. So this is kind of clipped out of context as to why he's actually ragging on the game.
Way!
All right, well.
Things like saying there's no way that you release the game with this input bug in the game and not know that the bug was there, which is a valid criticism, but enough to hate on the entire game. Not an issue that I ran into, so it can't be that common of a bug. I never ran into this bug. Didn't run into the bug that this guy also ran into. So I don't know. I didn't have any input bug in all the time that I played it, and I played it in the closed beta for multiple days, and I played a bit of Marathon on the day that it came out on the server slam and the day after, all day on stream. And I never ran into any of these input bugs at all. So this is completely outliers, like fringe things that can happen that doesn't happen to anyone, things that could be missed by Q&A. I had a flickering mouse input thing in Arc Raiders, right? Every time my controller was plugged in, I could see like my mouse cursor flickering in and out of the game while my controller was plugged in. So even Arc Raiders had input bugs and shit, but no one's complaining about Arc Raiders.
Boys, I gotta be honest with you, man. This is hands down one of the most complex menus I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's not. It's just as complex as every other game. It just looks more complicated just because of the art style. But once you just do what you would do in a normal UI, it behaves exactly the same and is basically exactly the same.
Life, bro. I have no idea where I'm at, what I'm looking at.
I'm honestly not sure what else needs to be said in this video here, guys. Marathon
hasn't said anything yet. You've not said anything yet. You've just done what everyone else has done, and you're basically saying colors, bright colors equals bad game, bad UI equals bad game. It looks like Roblox. That's what everyone keeps saying. Where's the actual criticism of the gameplay? He's thrown out terms out there like gunplay is bare bones. What? What's bare bones about it? It's just as good gameplay as you'd find in Destiny or Halo. It's state of the art, like first-person shooter mechanics. It's very well polished. It feels very good to play. There's nothing bare bones about the gunplay at all. He's just thrown out the term, but he's not really solidified it with any actual examples as to what's bad about or bare bones about it than any other polished AAA shooter. It's just as good as any other polished AAA shooter. So how can you say that it's bare bones? Bare bones would be some kind of shooter that looked like a PlayStation 1 game that was janky and unrefined. That would be bare bones shooting, right? Because it's not been refined. This, you're talking about gunplay mechanics that have been refined over multiple Halo games, multiple Destiny games to arrive at what you have in Marathon. So this is a highly refined gunplay mechanics. There's nothing bare bones about it. It's a complete lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, what, you run around in Call of Duty and you shoot people? What can you tell me? Can you give me an example? If you can't describe what's bare bones about the shooting mechanic, can you at least like present a game to me that is less bare bones or isn't bare bones as an example that I can at least compare? Like, oh, you're saying this game is bare bones and then this game isn't bare bones. Then maybe if you can't describe what's bare bones about it, with the comparison, I might be able to derive what it is you're talking about as to why it's bare bones, because you have this other example for me to look upon and be able to contrast with the game that you say is bare bones. But you're not saying any of that. You're not doing any of that. You're just saying it's bare bones and then throwing it out there. It's just another useless term thrown out there to hate on the game. And all is basically, all the rest of the video, he had a brief few minutes about the gameplay in which he said it was bare bones. Everything else is weird intro cutscene, acid trip, is really weird storyline. Game looks like Roblox, bad UI, bad game. So it's just the same as everybody else, and then appeal to other streamers and other people who also agree that it looks like Roblox and it's got bad UI, and therefore it's a bad game. So I'm going to appeal to consensus, I'm going to appeal to other people who are just as shallow and ignorant as me, and then push that as we're right and telling the truth. But anyway, I think that's enough on this anyway. I think this is already going to be on for quite a long time video, and it's going to be a nightmare to edit down or whatever. And I could keep going on with more clips and more examples, but basically, as you've seen from multiple people, from popular to less popular, it comes down to basically the two things. If bright colors equals game is bad, bad UI equals game is bad. But no one said anything concrete or valid about the actual gameplay itself. So it just feels like there's an organized group of people that just want to shit on this game, and they don't actually have a good reason to do so. That's just my opinion, but it's an opinion based on evidence facts and logic, unlike other people who are just saying things and they're not supporting it at all. But anyway, I'm going to finish off this video that's probably already too long with basically all my PvP encounters from the one day of the server slam that I played, you know, for about 5 hours or something like that. And that's the end of the video. So thanks for watching it this far, if you made it this far. And I'll be doing some hunt videos hopefully during the week on Wednesday. I've got some cheated clips to go through that you've not seen. And yeah, I'll catch you all then. I'm out of here. Peace. Later. We got unstable diode. Gotta play it, man. I don't know what I'm dropping here. I didn't realise it was you, One Punch Dave, that was talking, man. I don't know if you're still there, man. I didn't even recognise you. I thought it was some random dude. Yeah, not too bad. 2 kills, bit of loot.
Prepare for increased hostile action.
Fucking hell. How did it get around there like that, bro? Was it a fucking AI that was shooting at me or what? Lack of footsteps in the game, I think, is already going to be potentially a problem here if I can't hear where people are running to or where they're going. I need more of a recap, man. I need to know who was shooting at me. Oh, it was a commander. It was a... I was getting hit by a USEC commander and it pushes me off, man. That's annoying that the USEC commander decided to shoot on me and not the other dude who was clearly visible for the entire time and not fire on them at all. But as soon as I go to engage, I have to get fired on by some random AI that I'm obviously going to mistake for the player that I'm actually engaged in, which then pushes me in further, thinking that I'm safe to push in and heal, only to actually run straight into the hands of my enemy because of an AI that just randomly decided to shoot me. I'm actually getting clapped by this fucking poison. Is that
Priority contract fulfilled.
There we go. Try this building over here. Extract right there. Oh wait a second, what's this? Oh, it's here. Shit.
Geological data secured. Warning, temporal aberrations detected.
Alright, and then we need to go to overflow. We've got some big ass boss thing on it. Nice. We've got our mission done. At least half of it anyway, so... Where are we going? We're actually going the wrong way. I just wanted to go in this direction, actually. Can we go around this wall? I reckon there's a way around this way. Is somebody exfilling? Is that what it is? Somebody is exfilling. A little bit dread. What? Is he still, there's still somebody here? Dude, dead, right? Player's dead, right? Who's put this fucking smoke down? Probably use a shield just to be safe. Two. Somebody else shooting over the way. I don't know if any of this is actually good. This is the player, right? Oh, the player not dead. He got self-revive. Shit, the player had self-revive. The player had self-revive module. There's self-revive in the game, innit? Fuck. Shit. That's what the smoke fucking was. They must have self-revived in the smoke. Shit. Somebody rolling in from somewhere over here.
There is a nearby profit opportunity.
Shit. If I bait them over to me, I'm gonna hit this fucking X film. I was gonna run over to them in stealth, man, but I'm feeling like maybe get out and just come back in. I don't have to do it all in one go. Or maybe I can bait this dude out. Just trees and shit. Well, I've got like a third of my objectives done. I should have pushed that dude. Maybe I should have just gone aggro on him. I don't know. I didn't have my stealth right recharged. I was going to like push in with the stealth. Is this the dude? This is the dude as well. He was rolling in, man. At the last minute, he was coming for me, man, but not fast enough for me to engage him before leaving. Going backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards.
Warning, reinforcements detected.
We got ourselves our first cheater. Yeah, nice, mate. First cheater. We go straight in. Automatically thought those bullets are pretty sus, mate. And then underscoring the name. So we got our first cheater in the game. Here we go, guys. Straight away. First cheater. Here we go. Our first proper day of playing the game. It's been all good up until this point. And now we've got our first cheater who, under fire, immediately turns, snaps, fires 2 bullets, hits all headshots, and underscoring the name. So immediately we've got cheaters in the game already. Or somebody calling it in? Is that what they're doing? Somebody called that in. Or is it just coming automatically? Is that the world event that it just lands automatically? Like a supply drop. I thought you had to call those supply drops in. Come on, this fucking... He must hate me so much, man. He hates me so much, bro. Had to be there, didn't he? Had to be there to blow my cover, didn't he? Is he inside this building?
A profit opportunity presents itself.
Holy shit. Fucking teleporting around over here, bro. Don't fucking... Holy shit. If I had the perfect maneuvering in on him there, and they fucking repositioned or whatever with his fucking stealth. What, cheater? Yeah, nice cheats, bro, man. You got your wall hacks on, have you, bro? Unless he's got that ability to actually see me, but I think that guy's cheating. We've got a cheater. Got a cheater, have you, mate? You're cheating, are you, bro? You're cheating? I don't even know if my thing's working or not.
15 minutes until signal loss.
Got him. Yeah, fuck you, cheater, bitch. Fucking hell, bro. Like, there's no way they could have known that I'm there, right? I don't think that character doesn't have... That's like an assault class shell, right? So there's no way that an assault class shell would have had its recon that can see where enemies are. And literally, it's like, it's barely even a second has gone by before they're literally opening fire on me. I mean, is it possible? It could be possible that if they killed a USEC commander, right, when you kill them, you can have an upgrade, right, where if you kill them, you see all hostiles in the area. Does that count for me as well? Because that's the only other possibility, right? If they killed a USEC commander, and then they could have seen me, if that has the ability to track me as well and not just AI, and they could have potentially seen me through that means. Maybe. Is there somebody looting in there, or is it just AI? Was a player. Down. There we go. Even the paid ones. Have we seen any paid ones yet? Like, I don't know if have we seen any paid ones? I mean, I think there were a few other skins in the closed beta, I think. I can't remember. I can't remember them. They couldn't have been that good if I can't remember them. So. Whoa, shit. This dude was on top of me already and knew I was there. A little bit sus. He's got an underscore in his name. Welly. Can't click on anything. Knew that I was there. Probably could have handled that a little bit better. As soon as you got gear, man, somebody just randomly shows up and kills you without you being able to do anything about it, and they're in the perfect position. There's another person there shooting another way, so why would he prioritize me when I'm not doing anything? Seems weird. There's somebody else engaging somebody else, but they don't react to it. Instead, they're focused on me when I'm barely even making any noise. Somebody rolling in on me. Is there anything even over there? What's my, No one can get over there anyway, so okay. Right, so where do I gotta go to? Maintenance. Whoa. I'm stuck on an fucking invisible wall here. Another... Like, why can't I click their fucking shit, bro? I can't click on anything of their shit, bro. If I right click, it just makes it disappear. Like, I can't click on anything about them. I can't even click to view their Steam profile. I can't click to report or anything. Can't do nothing, bro. Like, why? Recap. Even when I right click to recap, it doesn't do anything. All of a sudden it gets to that time, you know what I'm saying? Every time you get around, just like in Hunt Showdown, as soon as you get around that 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock marker, all of a sudden you go into games where you just keep dying back to back, back to back, back to back. Is that how it's going to be? People are just going to be like, oh, that's just perfectly normal. That, you know, during the day, it'll be perfectly fine and calm. And then all of a sudden when people are coming back from work, all the people who work all day, all just happen to be better than everybody else at video games. It's not because they have disposable income to waste on cheats. I feel like this green color in this sort of skin is camouflaged probably kind of well with these fucking like cyan colored fucking pipes and shit. At a glance, I might not be seen. What was the dude there? Oh look. What? That's yeah, nice wall hacks, bro. Nice wall hacks, bro. That's wall hacks, man. That guy's wall hacking for sure, bro. What's his name? But you're the guy's cheater for sure. He shot me straight clean as soon as I went around the pipe and was able to be shot at. He opened fire even though I'm in smoke. 100% cheating. Ain't no way he saw that shit. Another like confirmed cheater. As soon as you kill one person, all of a sudden another person immediately shows up super fast, just there on top of you. And he shot me straight through the fucking smoke, man. There ain't no way that he could do that just without cheating, bro. All the same symptoms that you start seeing in all the other games. Always around the same time as well. As soon as everyone's coming back from work, there's an evening time and whatnot. All of a sudden, you get the random deaths and the inexplicable, unexplainable deaths that start happening. Because all the people that work are just better than everyone else. Even though all the people that seem to like, who should be better, the ones with no life, who have no life in the game, who play the games all the time, should be the ones that can't be competed with by these dudes. But apparently you get a job and apparently you're just magically better at video games than everyone else. In a smoke cloud. And as soon as I'm visible, the dude's literally shooting me on the angle there, bro. Like, what? Look at that, you see it follow me as well. See it instant follow me. Like the shot. The guy was shooting there. And as soon as I jumped out, immediately snaps to me there and kills me. And I die before the bullet has switched targets. So he's hitting me basically in the future, and I'm not seeing the change of target. That's how fast. He snaps to me so fast, my game doesn't display it, how fast he snaps to me and kills me.
Neural link activated.
That's how fast that he
Do
snapped
not
to me.
remain planetside for extended periods.
Because look, you can see the bullets going that way. And then immediate snap and kill. And I'd literally died before the bullets had showed on my screen. That's how fast he snapped to me and killed me.
Coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.